Let's go racing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MRL's Monday Night Mayhem. You got Mean Gene Money on the mic. I've got my tag team partner, Zach Panzarella, and we're coming to you live from Iowa Speedway. It's week number 7 of our 12-race regular season, and we're about to see 140 laps of insanity on this .875-mile D-shaped asphalt track. They've only been on one short track so far this year. It was Bristol, and things got wild. Feelings were hurt, and friendships were broken. So I can't wait to see what happens here week 7. Zach, you got your big boy pants on? Because I think we're going to need them.
Yeah, I think we are too, me and Gene, and I made sure I came prepared. They are on. This track, like you said, it's not for the weak. This place is technical, and it looks pretty warm out there today. We'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, I'm excited to be here, me and Gene. This is going to be a different taste of the places we've been to lately here on Mondays. A lot of play tracks lately, but I'm happy to be back where NASCAR's roots started at the short tracks.
Yeah, this thing almost kind of reminds me a little bit of Kansas. The way that high line is so inviting. But one thing that this track has that the other doesn't is that nasty bump in the apex of 1 and 2. That thing's a sweet surprise for you on a Christmas morning, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this is that has that bump on the top of 1 and 2, me and Gene, and yeah, you really need to adjust your line accordingly, because if one set of tires collects that little bump there on the outside, yeah, usually your right side's really kind of graze it. Oh my goodness, does that upset your your car so much, and really also gets you loose. And if it doesn't get you loose, me and Gene, it just destroys any momentum you may have had.
Yeah, you got a bump like that, you probably need to go see the doctor immediately. We're going to see right rear tires just get worn out so quickly here. You should run low and save your tires, especially in 3 and 4, but I think we're going to see these boys do some ridiculous stuff instead. This is week 7. Last week, we were at Daytona, and boy, oh boy, did it get crazy. 26 cars started that race. 16 of them finished on the lead lap. And Zach, we finally saw Daniel Smith cross that threshold to take his first win of the year.
Yeah, that was a big moment in this league. One of our rookies, Daniel Smith, but man, he has not had the speed of your typical rookie, me and Gene. He has been so fast week in and week out, but just one thing or another was costing him victories. But it finally all came together last week, and he was able to capture that elusive victory and now lock himself into the playoffs. So a completely different outlook for Daniel Smith going in towards how to approach these races, me and Gene, and I'm curious to see if we see a different Daniel Smith because of that.
Yeah, he's not going to have his boys here tonight. He brought in the mercenary Matt Tucker. Tucker, 3000, ended up fishing second place. And Sean Walton, another guy that they run with. That was that little checker or wrecker team. But this time it looks like Daniel Smith, he's going to be all by himself next time that he shows up to run. And I actually don't see Daniel Smith out on the track yet. So going to be interesting to see if he comes to Iowa to follow up that great run. Smith did end up jumping up 6 spots into the 7th position. Other interesting things of note, Andrew Bolander jumped up 3 spots to take the second place in the points, and Matthew Fritz, not making an appearance, drops 5 spots down into 11th. Right now, we've got 18 drivers out on that track. Lots of teams slowly falling apart, Zach. You remember how big those teams were at the beginning. Hey, look at today right now. Joe Volpus, East Coast Racing Alliance, it's by himself. Duval's out, Beverly's out, no Swingle. 2X Racing, they got 3 of their representatives here today. DDI looks like they got 3 guys. There's Novella, so they got 3 guys out there today. MC Motorsports gonna have 2. Highside Hustlers, they'll have 3. Of course, remember Buddy Sully, he is still down with that shoulder injury. And Venom, no Parham, no Fritz, no Jay Stinson, rookie Zach Tyler out here by himself. So we've seen a lot of these teams start to fall to the wayside as the season has gone on. Perhaps they've got Monday Night Blues.
Yeah, and I mean, that also I think goes to show how much of not a joke this track is, me and Gene. I think a lot of drivers, whether it be not feeling they put in enough practice for this one or just afraid of this track altogether, I think this may be our smallest field so far, and I don't think it's a going to be a consistent thing throughout this season. I think it may be the track, me and Gene. So yeah, I think this is also a great opportunity for guys who are maybe not on a team or also on the outside looking in this playoff situation. Very good opportunity to collect a lot of points right now.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. David Owens was the quickest in practice. Kyle Lynott put up a smoker to be second. Tony Iverson also running very strong. That's the top 3 guys in practice. Guy I'm really keeping an eye on, those got to be Joe Volpis. 2 years ago was the last time MRL ran its Monday night series here, and Joe Volpis led 100 laps. He was the fastest and pretty much just dominated this race to put himself on top. Second and third place finishers from that Iowa race 2 years ago, both here as well. That's Kevin Kyle and Jack Sanders. So guys from 2 years ago are here to give it a go again. And how about this guy, David Owens? He's toughing it out today, Zach. Talked to him earlier. Guy said he has the flu. He's got a water bottle, a huge water bottle in one hand and an empty bucket in the other, if you know what I'm saying. And he's going to try to rough this thing out. Last 2 times I've seen Owens at Iowa, he 2 years ago, he got wrecked and was 133 laps down. Wednesday night he raced at Iowa last season, got wrecked on the first lap, 2 laps down. Somehow guy comes back and wins the thing.
Yeah, a lot can happen here because I think there's going to be a lot of cautions, me and Gene. I think this can normally be a hectic race just because of the nature of the size of the track, really. And what that does is it allows you to really never have to say die. Your race isn't over if you go a couple laps down. But yeah, I know Owens has not had the best luck here in the past, and he's going to be fighting through a sickness on top of that. So that's going to be a fun day for Owens. I do as well have my eye on Joseph Volpis. He is normally good on these flatter, short tracks, really comfortable with how much looseness and how much car control you need to be successful here. So I have my eye on that 07 Volpis as well, me and Gene.
Ooh, look at Medina, a little bit of trouble there in practice. Jose Medina, 10th in points. That is not going to help him. There's Matt Novella out on the track right now. Novella's having a pretty good season for DDI. He's currently 12th in points, Matt Novella. There's Steve Lewis taking a quick pit stop. And there's KB, Kevin Brower, the Delaware driver.
Behind him, Tony Iverson putting in his qualifying time. Tony Iverson, me and Gene, probably the driver more than anyone that I think is very, very eager to put his name in that win column. At this time last year, I think he'd already had more than 1 win, and he's already had a few chances at it, and just also it's been quite a few incidents this season compared to others. But this one right here is a great chance for that 13 to get into victory lane for the first time this season.
Yeah, Tony Iverson currently 6th in points, still looking for that first win. He's got a top 5. He's got 3 top 10s in the early 6 races. Here's Brandon Guerin out here right now, turning some laps. Guerin also a member of the DDI team. Guerin looking for a strong finish, 19th in points, 6 starts. So Brandon really looking for a strong run here today.
And here is the guy currently sitting on top of the qualifying order, me and Gene. So he may have the flu, but I'm sure this starting position is going to make him feel a little bit better. David Owens with already 14 people putting in lap times on the top right now with a very, very quick lap. Also, Alex Hillman extremely close. And me and Gene, if looking at that pylon like I am, is, ooh, Owens gets loose next to that one.
Are they doing that on purpose? That's like the
so.
third car I've seen come to a stop right there. David Owens, though, he's having a heck of a good year. He's already got 1 win. He's got 5 top 10s in 6 races. So good looking for him. Those high side hustlers, they're just tough. Speaking of tough, here's the iRacing Super Speedway winner, Kevin Kyle. He's part of that 2X team. Kyle was atop of the points, currently sees himself in 4th place, but he's already guaranteed his spot into the playoffs.
So here we are on board with Kyle putting in his qualifying lap as you saw him dip low enough, just low enough, me and Gene, to stay away from those bumps we talk so much about, and we're going to talk a lot about them during the race. What I do like about the bumps in this racetrack, me and Gene, is I think it's a great way to pass people. I like to get to their inside, but then enter high enough to where I force them through those bumps, and that's usually enough for me to get the run I need. As Kevin Kyle puts down his first lap right there, this clearly seems to be a second lap track, as Kyle not getting the time he wants there, clearly in 14th. I'd expect this one to be a little bit faster, me and Gene, but right now it's still David Owens. Oh, and that was it for Kyle, actually.
And that was the end. That was our practice session. David Owens is going to be your pole sitter. Alex Hillman going to take second on that qualifying run. He'll be starting outside, inside. We'll see what Owens does, but he'll be on that front row. Kyle Lynott, the 988 driver, third. Eric Thornton is going to be fourth. Remember, Thornton is that fourth member of that High Side Hustler team. Matt Novella is going to start fifth. Joe Volpis sixth. That's your front three rows.
Yes, and behind Joe Volpis, you're going to find Tony Iverson. So pretty solid qualifying effort there from Iverson. Eighth place is going to be Jose Medina, yet another top 10 qualifying effort. Ninth, Jonathan Quesabir. Running out the top 10 is Michael Mata. And 11th, we're going to have Steve Lewis. 12th belonging to Brandon Garand as we move to the rest of the field here. And 13th, we're going to have Jack Sanders. 14th, Kevin Kyle. And that is this will be the last car that put in a time, Kevin Brower. And from here on, these guys choosing not to put in a time, Colin Bollinger, Hunter Hall, and Zachary Tyler.
I think this is the third time in a row Bollinger has not even bothered qualifying.
I think so too. I think you're right about that. And a track like this, that's
does he have
really
a smoking habit? Is that what's happening down there? What's he? I see the Porta-John. It looks like it's being smoked up in there. What do they call that? The hot box?
Yep, must be something along those lines. Me and James.
Yeah, him, Tyler, and Hall all in there. The single porta potty together, hot box on that thing. I imagine.
I would have to imagine that's the only reason you do not want to qualify to Iowa with only a field of 18. Why not, right? But hey, to each his own. I'm sure the rest of the field doesn't mind having them behind him to start the race, and it's going to be fun to watch him work through the field.
Yeah, definitely a difficult track here. That high side is so attractive. 1 and 2, that crazy bump. But as you said, Zach, just one bad shot on that bump because it's right where you think you're going to start accelerating. And if you don't have that car straightened out, you could really have an incident. And if you're in traffic, you might not have the option of when you straighten it out. And that could also cost you track position as you coast and roll, waiting to get past that. Meanwhile, that inside lane is just buried, hammered down.
Right, exactly. So sometimes it is better to control your race that way. So it's going to be definitely fun to see two different strategies play out here. Someone like Owens, who already is going to be able to start right in the front and try to control it that way. Or someone, I'm looking at Tony Iverson as well, me and Gene, another middle of the pack starting effort. So we'll have to see how that goes for him. And it looks like to me the lights are already off the pace car, which I'm surprised about, this being a short track, but I'm ready. Let's do this thing, right?
Heck yeah. Let's keep an eye on that 13 of Iverson, and he's right next to the 54 of Medina. Both those guys are known to be super aggressive. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if you zig when you should have zagged. And those two guys might meet, and sparks could fly. So that's something to keep an eye on, is the 7th and 8th place, the 13 and the 54. Lights are off as they cross over that start-finish line. I guess it was just a glitch because that pace car is still leading the pack. Cars getting their tires warmed up. We are in for a heck of a show. 140 laps of excitement. And remember, lap 70, stage points will be awarded. We will not have a caution. There will be no stage break, but drivers will be awarded for their position at that point. And with only 18 in the field, I imagine lots of guys think that they're due, they're entitled, their privilege should step through.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity, like we talked about, for a lot of these guys here. Just by starting this race, me and Gene, you're going to take home a nice share of points. But wow, a great opportunity to get a really, really good finish here and your first win this season.
Yes, sir. Remember, the win is the Willy Wonka golden ticket right to the playoffs. We're going to start quick. Here we go. Owens into the box. He is going to take it on the flag. Side by side with Hillman. Hillman on the outside in the 08. Getting a great push from Thornton, but it's Owens behind the bump of Lynott. Takes it forward. 3-car single file. 2x2x2 following that. Lynott, Joe Volpis, and there is Matt Novella, but it's going to be Owens leading these guys into turn 3. He's on the outside lane, almost 3 wide. Thornton falls into place. Momentum going to carry Owens. He leads lap number 1, leads him into turn number 1 here.
Good job by Alex Hillman to control his track position there, starting on the unfavorable line and able to fend off Thornton and keep second place. Since Thornton seems to get a little bit close to Hillman there in entry and having to check up and falls back into the grasp of a 3-wide battle right behind him between Novella, Lynott, and Volpis.
And you could see Volpis right there looking out for that bump. coming out at 2, has to let off. That lets it go 3 wide. And you can see right behind him, hungry like the wolf, Tony Iverson and Jose Medina. They'd love to get in there and start to make it interesting. Looks like finally, though, Volp is starting to make some progress, gets through that field, and now is ahead of Lynott, takes a firm control of 4th place. Up front, though, side by side, you can see Owens and Hillman. They still got some talking to do. Inside lane, Hillman. So not only is Hillman saving tires, he's at the front. Owens on the outside might be burning a little bit more, but should have that momentum. Oh, look at that move, Zach.
Oh, caution's out as Hillman, I believe, probably did capture the lead right before that caution came out. But looks like some contact there between Medina and Guerin is what I'm seeing, me and Gene. Let's take a look at what just
it was
occurred.
not one of the 2 cars called out at the beginning, was it?
They're looking like a fortune teller, aren't you? We'll keep our eye on Medina here. That's Guerin right behind him, so my data could be correct here. That's Iverson below them. Can't tell if Medina's loose entering here, Mean Gene. He doesn't look too out of shape yet. Let's see if anything becomes more obvious as Guerin's going to try to fill that gap in the middle and just right into Medina. Probably didn't think he was going to make that contact, but pretty much impossible to keep the car behind, underneath you if you're Jose Medina there. And let's see if he can save this thing, Mean Gene. Oh, watch out.
Ooh, case of beer scared.
Bollinger.
Scared.
They make contact. Bollinger collects.
Oh, no, he's going back.
Oh, it's like a
Remember
boomerang. I bet the 57's like, what the hell? I wasn't that bad.
Oh, look at that front end of Guerin come right off.
Is gone. And watch out for the identical car of Sanders sprinting to the bottom to avoid that one.
Oh, yeah, he does not want a piece of that.
Likely a fast repair, definitely a fast repair for the 57. We'll have to see what that ends up being for Medina.
Look at, also, looks like there's really only 17 guys here. Looks like Zachary Tyler did a little...
yes, he did.
Little starting part. I'm quite familiar with that technique.
I saw you exercise that. Hey, I'd be lying to say I haven't done it.
I even passed a guy. I was excited.
Yeah, you did. Good job.
They were wrecking early. Speaking of wrecking early, we are experiencing our first caution of the day right here early in the race. Not what we wanted to see, but it is what we got. Lap 5, having a caution as Guerin got straight into the back of Medina, got him loose, and then Medina came right back up into Guerin. Remember, you do get a fast repair here in Monday Night Mayhem, so I would expect at least the 57 car of Guerin after that wreck to take it. And, you know, while we're at this caution, Zoc, I think this is a perfect opportunity to talk about one of our sponsors.
Yeah, I agree, me and Gene. And
look at you, you were ready. You had your finger on the pulse.
I was. But yes, Chantilly Lace, thank you to them as always. It's always great having an incredible sponsor on board. And if you guys need any photography for any amazing events, such as a wedding, bar mitzvah, any special occasion that deserves photography from people who know to capture the best moments, check them out. They do some of the best work out there, me and Gene.
Yeah, they got awards, man. I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. I got tons of awards.
Yep, they got awards. And the biggest award, of course, will be you at home having that memory forever memorialized in digital and also in print. I love the pictures on my phone, but it's really cool to look at a hard copy of a photo on the wall or on the desktop.
That award line right there was good enough to go on a commercial, I think.
Exactly.
I like that.
All right, so pace car bringing us around. We are here on lap number 8. Looks like those lights are off. Hillman is going to get credit for leading that lap, so bonus points to the 08 Chevrolet driver, and now he is your control car. Chooses the inside. I guess he likes saving tires. Hey, why not save tires and take the lead? That sounds like a double win in my book. Alex Hillman there, the Mobile, what was he, Birmingham driver?
Yes, he is. He is from Birmingham.
Well, that's where I am right now. And then, not to be confused with Mobile, Alabama, so a couple of Alabama. It's the Alabama
front row.
Front again.
Yeah, check that out.
All right, coming around the Sunoco sign into the restart zone. That pace car is going to quickly zip off and give the opportunity for Hillman to get him going again. Great start. Going to go ahead and slide right up ahead of David Owens. Look behind, though. You can see very quickly. Other cars coming into the picture. That's Hillman, and then behind them, Lynott and Volpus side by side. But right now, it's 3 wide for the lead.
Eric Thornton got a great run on the exit of that corner, able to take Hillman 3 wide, put Hillman in the middle, the worst place to be. Hillman does a great job maintaining his momentum there. Also got a good restart, but just couldn't get through 1 and 2 on the colder tires the way he needed to. But did enough there to fend off Thornton. That 08 car, behind them, big problems there with Volpus. Hope he doesn't shoot down the track. It's like Brower behind there with a little bit of issues. Did Brower go around? Brower.
Yeah, looks like Hillman wiggles, but Thornton wiggled, gonna hold on to the 3rd spot as everyone else forced to check up. Iverson falls in behind Thornton. Here comes Volpus, Lynott. Contact between Novella and Case of Beer. Both drivers keep it on the straight and narrow. Looks like Thornton's going to get away with that little wiggle. It cost him some time behind the leaders, but he's going to maintain his position. I don't know how long he will, though. We got a hungry Tony Iverson out there, Zach.
Yeah, Iverson already making really good progress through this field. He's already picked up 3 positions and almost in a podium position, now trying to reel in Thornton. And yeah, Case of Beer and Novella getting together there. Teammates on Thursday, but not today. However, these two they do know how to work well together, and they have experience doing it. So I would not expect to see that happen again unless they just can't help it, because this track, it gets tight quick on the exit of these corners, Mean Gene.
Early in the race right now, but we are going to see tire wear, especially with some driving the way that they are doing. Look at this, how tight it gets. Owens did have that big lead, but now it's closed down quickly as Hillman gonna go down low, try to get side by side. Eric Thornton recovering from his mistake right behind the two as they race through. Owens almost makes contact. You know, the way Hillman did it, that was almost that Kevin Harvick pass where he cuts your tire.
Yeah, he definitely did come down on exit. He's doing it again there. But that seems to be the line that Owens and 11 likes to run right now, is to kind of make a diamond out of the corner, and it just isn't really agreeing with how the 08 slides up the corner and exit. So they're gonna have to be careful about that. As you can see, the 08 now not getting the exit on the bottom that he needed to, falling behind Thornton. I think Thornton right here should be able to wrap the top. I'm honestly surprised, Mean Gene, that the 08 of Hillman's been able to make that inside work for as long as he has. It's very impressive. As wow, it looks like Owen slips up a little bit there and allows Thornton to get to his inside.
I think Owens went high on purpose. Owens reminded me of that video on Facebook where the lizard is trying to run across the field full of snakes, because that's what this is. Owens knows if he lets these guys go by, he is going to fall back 5 spots. He has to fight as long as he can, but it's got to be costing him tires. Hillman loses position. Volpus pulls up behind Owens. Thornton on the inside, side by side. And now look at Iverson making it 3 wide in the 2nd row.
Yeah, Iverson shoots the middle there. An aggressive move from Iverson, but that 13 car clearly has a lot of speed underneath it, so I understand that confidence he has. As yeah, it's going to be really interesting, Mean Gene, to see which lines are affecting tires more, as look at Owens there, completely misses the corner all the way up the track. That's going to cost him about 6 or 7 positions.
Yeah, remember, he is fighting the flu, so if things are not going his way, I could easily see the driver of the number 11 Ford saying, look, I started, I ran, I've got to win. Let's just take a break, get some rest. I'll see you boys on Wednesday.
Yeah, I agree. I think Owens is going to give it the best he can, but if he sees it affecting his performance in a negative way, whether or not that was anything affected or anything related to that, or if his chance to win this race goes away, I don't think anyone would blame him one bit to want to call it a day. He gave it his best shot for sure.
No, we've already awarded the Iron Man trophy. I think Buddy Sully got that thing, but David Owens with the flu, if he could keep it going, who knows? He might be on there. Right now, though, Owens is down 6 spots into 7th place, running behind Case of Beer, and he better watch out coming up from behind. Remember, he started last. Well, here he comes. That's Colin Bollinger, our points leader. He's got 2 wins on the season, up 8 spots into 8th place. So top 8 cars, very close. Little gap afterwards. You can see Lewis. There's a space back to Modest, space back to Kyle. So really starting to spread out a little bit further back.
Oh, Hillman goes around. Hillman goes around.
Oh, no. No contact. Good save there by Hillman.
And it looks like we're going to stay green.
Are going to be angry.
Yeah, they are. I think we're going to stay green here, me and Gene. I think Hillman may have just gotten loose on the exit there. We'll take a quick look. And also, we did have a change of the lead there. Joseph Volpus, last time we were here, he got the win. He's picking up where he left off, able to capture the lead from Thornton there. But let's take a look at what went wrong for Alex Hillman. Here he is running the top, and he's already loose. Tries to save it once, twice. Not quite, but here he goes straight towards the inside wall and able to slow it down and save it. So good job by Hillman.
Wow, a little bit of contact with that outside wall, but he manages to keep it going. You know, Lanat got awful close to him. That kind of makes me wonder about a net code issue, because you know how tricky this can be. If you start to slide one way and that other car just gets close, it will give you net code. We'll have to just see if Lanat talks about getting a 0x out of that a little bit later. Back up at the front, though, it is Joe Volpis. Remember, Joe led 100 laps here at Iowa 2 years ago, the last time that MRL came to Iowa Speedway, and it seems to be Volpis trying to get another repeat out of that. Early in the race, though, we've yet to come into the pits. That hopefully we'll get some green flag pits, only 17 cars running, so we should have an opportunity to see some green flag pits, and that's really where that skill comes out. Entering, exiting, and, well, if you're me, missing your stall completely.
Yeah, also, Gene, another guy we should keep our eye on, making the pass right now for 6th place is Colin Bollinger, looking to the inside of Owens. He started in the rear. I thought he may have collected a little bit of damage in that first incident, but if he did, it's not anything that's affecting him enough to deter his speed at all. He is definitely our hardest charger so far in this race. And, man, maybe he just is a superstitious guy, right? Because it seems like every time he starts in the rear, it works out for him.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If you find a formula that works, you keep running with it. You know, it goes from a hypothesis to a theory real fast, and maybe he has found the solution. Colin Bollinger, 2 wins on the season. He is our points leader for the regular season so far. Got a spot guaranteed in the playoffs, and right now he is up 10 spots into the 6th after that nice move that he just put on David Owens. Joe Volpis still running up front, and he's slowly pulling away from Eric Thornton. You can see those 4 cars behind with them, Thornton, Iverson, Lanat, and Case of Beer, trying to battle it out back there. And then Colin Bollinger slowly slipping up. Owens trying to hold on, but looks like he's going the wrong way. And Steve Lewis up 3 spots into 8th. He's going to start to close the gap on David Owens. So at this rate, I think we're going to see Owens just trying to triage that car. Good run by Steve Lewis. He's broken away from the middle of the pack and moved up. You know, Steve, he was a hard charger at Daytona. We saw him making that 3rd lane work on that outside before, you know, that big wreck that involved so many people last week at Daytona. Daytona was crazy. 2 disqualifications and multiple drivers.
Hey, you're going through your notes.
Penalties.
Yeah.
Could you hear it?
Yeah, I could. And it was probably one of those long lists that just gets longer as you open it. Because, yeah, that was a crazy one.
I'm just going to say 10. 10 people were penalties.
And look at this, Gene. This group is getting even closer as you see Iverson peeking to the inside of Lanat, trying to pick up that 3rd place. And Case of Beer joined the party as well. Bollinger right there, too. What I'm also noticing, Gene, is the guys who started up front and raced hard to control the early portions of this race outside of Thornton have paid the price for it. Thornton's still in 2nd place doing a fantastic job, but we're watching Owens slip through the field, falling into the grasp of Lewis right now, and Hillman, after a mistake about 5 laps ago, all the way back in 11th now. So, wow, it really does seem like it pays off to be patient here and really let this race come to you and protect your tires for as long as you can. Because I'm also going to assume we're going to get some pretty long runs being at a short track and having 140 laps in this thing, Gene.
Yeah, that was something I heard 2X Racing talk about. Kevin Kyle and I had a chance to chat, and he did talk about how quickly that right rear would wear out, that people had to make sure that they were rolling deep into. Oh, no! Hunter Hall into the wall. He is going to go a lap down. Volpis swerving to miss him. Hall now down into the apron, and that is going to just watch the entire field go by. Unfortunate. I think this is a guy that had the tires just like we're talking about. Here's that replay.
Loose on exit, same place as his teammate, almost identical, and wow, right in front of the leader, and the yellow is out, as it looks like there was a separate incident. And don't look now, Gene.
No. Yeah. Was it the other guy I said might be in a wreck?
It was, and here it is. You can see Iverson loose in the bottom here, trying to gather it up into Lanat, nowhere Lanat can go. Not too bad here so far. Watch out, Iverson. Keeps it together.
Okay.
Brings out a yellow flag.
Okay. What happened with Lynott? He was awful close to another car up there.
Ooh, let's take a look at that and see if anything did happen to Lynott there. I don't think anything too bad did. Let me see if I can find that incident.
Yeah, I think Lynott and Bolander were, or Bollinger were very close.
Nothing I can see here. Here we go. So here's the incident again. I'll zoom out. Oh, sorry, this is a different one. But yeah, I think Lynott's fine.
And Joe Volpus leads him in.
Let's take a look at Lynott and how long he spends in the pits, and I'll answer our question, right? So here we go.
Yeah, you can see right there, Lynott. He's got his buddy, Colin Bollinger, right behind him.
And everybody wants a set of tires, don't they, Mean Gene?
You got to.
Oh,
that right rear is just angry. Whoa, Thornton drives right through Joe Volpus, thankfully.
Ooh, I was going to say, yep. I was going to say it gets hard into his box, but a little bit too hard.
That's what we were talking about, going too far.
Yes, sir. So here we go. Owens first out. Mata second out. Kevin Kyle third out. So that was some trickery right there, Mean Gene. Let's see here. Yep, those were 6 and 7 seconds
later than the others.
And those were short pit stops. So 2 tires at most, I'm assuming 2. Maybe for a guy like Owens, none, but 7 seconds, I think that's enough time to throw 2 on it. But that is a that's bold. That's bold, to say the least.
Wow. Yeah, I would have taken 4. It's a caution. Worst case scenario, I'm starting back in 16th spot, and we've already seen Colin Bollinger prove you can go from 16th up to the front. Fresh tires, I would imagine you could even do better. We'll see how long these 2-tire guys, and oh my, if somebody's out there with 0 tires on the change, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, we will. And to answer our speculation about Lynott, I think that car's fine. He didn't spend any more time in the pits than anyone else around him did. Maybe a case of beer with a tiny bit of damage fixing. He was in there for about 2 seconds longer than everybody else. You can see that Brower's still trying to fix that race car, as is Garand. I don't even know if Garand used his fast repair, Mean Gene. I think he's still working on that same race car, which is incredible. I don't know where they found another front bumper for it.
Yeah, let's see here. Iverson dropped a little bit. Looks like Steve Lewis lost 2 spots in that little pit stop. Kevin Brower as well, just trying to get a handle on this track right now. Kevin,
everyone's going to lose a handful there,
14th.
just because of Owens, Mata, and Kyle, right? That's going to cause you to lose at least 3 right there for pretty much everybody.
Yeah, those guys are crazy.
Yeah, they are. This is going to be good for us and bad for if you're if you're outside the top 3. This is not great for you.
Well, and I think if they did that, they've got to hug the apron and just deal with people going around the outside.
I totally agree.
You cannot think that you're going to take 2 tires and run high, especially in 1 and 2, where you know that dirty little thing is waiting for you.
And I'm curious to see if it's more of a loose sensation or a tight sensation they're feeling, especially with their line choice. I think, too, the nice thing to do is go to the bottom, Mean Gene, but the right thing to do in terms of protecting that position would be the top, because you can defend better up there. We'll see. Here we go.
Yeah. Other drivers had a chance to learn from that first run. They've got 4 freshies, so they should be able to adjust and make the tires last longer. Owens, Mata, Kyle, they're on 2. Here we go. Quick start there by Owens. Owens gets a great jump. Mata on the outside in the blue 16. Kevin Kyle going to fall into line inside lane. Looks like Jose Medina, Kylevan, and Colin Bollinger, Volpus, and Hillman get a little bit close on the outside. They back up, and that's going to let Owens get a 4-car length lead over Mata, who has a 4-car length over Medina. Jose Medina now in a podium spot. Colin Bollinger behind him, and Kevin Kyle already falling back to 5th on that restart.
Medina on 2 as well, Mean Gene, so he's on that same strategy.
Lewis is loose. Oh, and that makes Hunter Hall go wild.
Lewis into the wall, and shockingly not a caution. There it is. Okay, that was a weird one for a second.
Yeah, he got loose, went in the wall, and then Hunter Hall got caught up in that as well. Unfortunate for Hall.
You know what that probably is, though. I don't want to get too excited, but I think you know. Let's see here.
Darn it, Hall needed that lucky dog too, but he's not going to get it.
And that fast repair had already been used. That's unfortunate. Hall reacting to it. Oh, and they never even hit each other, so I didn't get to use it. But
Well, I mean, Lewis hit something. She bowled the wall.
yeah, you're right. I'll take it. Say less. There it is. Yes, sir.
Yep. Well, hopefully Louis didn't take too much damage, but he is creeping right there. Louis was up into 8 on that nice long run that they had. He'd gotten clear of the middle of the pack.
Yeah, it was pretty
Let's
impressive.
see if everybody just pretends nothing happens, right? Like, let's just keep rolling.
We just move on. I mean, big thing to note there. Me and Gina.
Look at Sanders, Lewis, and Guerin coming and bring it into the pit.
Oh yeah, how about that? Maybe some more damage
If I'm
repair.
Hunter Hall, I'm so mad.
Yeah, I know.
If it weren't for that, I would have been the lucky dog.
Yep, that's a shame. And yeah, not gonna be a wave around either. So you're right, that is a shame. As that's all gonna be damage repair there.
Wait a minute.
What stall is who in? There you guys go.
I think he is. Look at Hunter Hall. He's making a move. He's passing the pace car.
So he didn't get an incident for it. That's awesome. That's
Thankful.
great.
Well, he didn't touch anybody. He just got.
So that's great for him. I'm stoked for him.
There was a little bit of puckering. There was a little pucker sound coming from his seat, but he's good.
But that's not always an incident. One thing to note, Mean Gene, those 2-tire cars, especially the ones up front of Mata and Owens, really strong.
They were fast.
Really, really strong, yeah. I was surprised there was no tire spin in the beginning, and not just that. Normally, when you have tires that old and you're pretty paranoid about them, your starts aren't great because you don't want that tire spin, so you don't really get the jump you normally would. Owens did, and Mata did as well. We know how good Mata can be on restarts. So that's going to be something to look out for, but now Bollinger did get through the rest of them, and he's going to be lining up in third here. Yeah,
but conversely, how about Kevin Kyle? He was third, fell back to 7th, got 8 up really quickly, and now he's got Sabir, Lynott, and Iverson right behind him. So Kevin Kyle going to have his work cut out for him. That's that 27 Chevrolet, part of the 2X Racing team, going with 2 tires. So two-time, and 2Ks, Kevin Kyle.
Yes, sir. Kevin Kyle got trap position that way. He was in the Hornets' nest when we went yellow, so we'll have to see how he's able to deal with that.
Oh, they're ready for him. They want a piece of that.
Oh, yeah, they taste blood. Let's look at these guys. They're all so eager. They're already 2x2. Light's still in the pace car.
Yeah. Yeah, they're ready to get this thing crack-a-lacking again. I mean, face it, you just came in. You got 4 freshies. You got 2 guys in front of you that are just running on 2 tires. One of them is sick. Mata doesn't have a reputation for being that proficient on these shorter tracks. He's known for those speedways and the super speedways, more of a draft track guy. So if you're Colin Bollinger in that second row inside, or heck, if you're Jose Medina, you got to be stoked right now knowing that you got better tires than those guys in front of you.
Yeah. Well, no, Medina has 2 as well, Mean Gene.
He 2-timed it?
He does as well. That's how he got that trap position. But I'll push back a little bit on that Mata thing. I was surprised he was running where he was to start this race in the teens. This is where, no matter where we are, I expect to see him. So I'm curious to see how we can maintain this track position with these 2 tires.
Well, he gets a restart like that. Just hold on and hug the apron.
Oh, yep.
All right, pace car is off. We're looking at David Owens on the outside. He gets a great jump. Still pulling away. Mata is in second. It's going to be tight between him and Medina. Mata keeps it low. Medina starts to slide on the outside. That's going to slow Volpus. 4 cars on that inside lane now, as we see Owens, Mata, Bollinger, Eric Thornton, Medina behind him. Here comes Joe Volpus hot, and there's Tony Iverson hugging the apron.
Watch that 13 of Iverson, Mean Gene. He is absolutely sending it in on the entry of every corner, knowing a few of these guys are in worse tire situations. Here he's going to do it again. So deep into these corners, kind of backing that one up a little bit. Nope, and he backed it up so he can have the exit speed. As he comes close to Medina there, he's going to have to be careful, as he's not going to have the exit speed he wanted due to that checkup on the exit. And look at right in front of them with Eric Thornton and Bollinger going 3 wide nearly with Owens, and there's Mata falling back. These are the 2 tire guys getting caught by the 4 tires.
Yep, you can see down low Thornton in that white number 1 now. Second place side by side with Bollinger. They're going to split Owens. Light contact. Owens off pace. That's going to let Mata and Iverson go by. Iverson and Owens side by side. Owens on the outside going slow. Now Medina passes. Case of Beer gets him. Kevin Brower gets him. Volpus, here comes Lynott. Owens going the wrong way, falling back into 8th. New leader, the 53 of Colin Bollinger. He's on 4 freshies. He's being chased by Thornton, but I'll tell you, Tony Iverson, he is bringing it right now in 3rd.
Man, action all over the track right now, Mean Gene. I don't know where to look as Bollinger didn't take him long. We're not even at the halfway point. He's driven from the back to the front to take the lead this race. Owens, it looked like when he got caught, he just gave up and went straight to the back and is kind of trying to settle in now in that 2-tire situation he is in. But he let a lot of those guys that he's in the same tire situation with past them there. Mata got him. Medina got him. So Owens really struggling as he some kind of grazed the wall and exit there in front of Novella.
Well, this is a big track about rhythm, and once you whack the wall, your rhythm is off, and it could take you a couple laps, and if these other guys, they're on pace, you could fall back. I think that's what we saw with Owens. Owens won this last year in the Wednesday night Xfinity race, so he's got skills on Iowa. He knows how to drive here, but once you whack a wall, once you're on 2 tires, things can change. Owens might just be in survival mode right now.
Yeah, Mean Gene, and oh man, this 9 of Brower is getting loose around the corners. There it is right there on the exit, getting a little bit sideways. I don't know what his tire situation is. Last time he was in the pits, he was in there for a minute, literally, and he collected damage earlier. He may have accidentally taken a set and didn't want to take another one, so he could be an earlier set of tires in the rest of this group, but he is nonetheless, Mean Gene, very, very loose, struggling with this track. As we look up front here, Eric Thornton and Tony Iverson trying to, at the same time, not cost himself too much time on Bollinger, but still, Iverson, you could tell, wanting that 2nd place, trying to recharge right now and probably take another go at it in a couple more laps.
A lot of side-by-side back there for 4th and 5th. Sabir and Mata side-by-side for 2.5 laps. Hey, we're teammates. We're going to go easy on each other, right? Yeah, buddy, sure.
Ooh.
Nope, they went hard. Finally, Mata with the 2 tires fades away. You can see now it's Sabir easily in that 5th position. Behind him, Kyle Lynott. Joe Volpus now trying to make his way around Mata, who only has 2 tires. And there's KB. He gets pinched up against that wall, but he's going to wiggle his way around as well. Field starting to spread apart now. We've still got 16 on the lead lap. Hunter Hall trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way.
Man, you can tell the exits of these corners are just so loose. I'm going to try to get us on board with Mata right here. Here we are. And look at that, Mean Gene. Look how free that car is on the exit of these corners. Especially, I mean, not rocket science for these guys on the 2 tires. But look at this. All is good here. But then the second you want to throttle out of here, you can tell the car just doesn't want to do it. And you're just so free exiting. And look at that lack of exit speed as the 9 of Brower drives away. I'm sure everyone who took 2 tires right now just praying for this run to be over soon so they can put 4 on instead.
Yeah, you really could see that exit speed of Kevin Brower as he managed to hold that velocity and just zip on by the 6.
Oh!
Oh, and there we go.
Brower into the wall. And watch Medina there.
Medina's got
nowhere to go at all for Jose Medina. Great wreck avoidance there. Caution's out. I'm assuming something there with Brower. Oh, and around goes Owens. Uh-oh.
Dag nabbit.
Let's take a look at what happened here. We'll keep our eye on Owens. Was this a avoiding situation? Owens out the corner, loose already. Goes around Brower here. Into the corner he goes, and it just comes around on him immediately.
Wow.
That was a weird
Owens
spin.
Goes below the apron, and there's a spin by himself, and a caution comes out.
I want to see what that looked like on
unfortunate circumstances.
What a weird wreck from Owens. So he avoids Brower here, obviously spooking him. He's having to enter way lower than he wants to. That thing just came around.
Those next-gen cars are unforgiving.
They really are. By the time he realized that it was too late. Wow. That's what 2 tires will do to you, Mean Gene.
Well, that was a caution on lap 54. That's our 4th caution of the day. Remember, we are racing to 70. That will be your halfway point, and they will award stage points. There will be no caution break, though. There will be no stage break. So they will continue to run. Right now, Colin Bollinger up 15 spots. Currently being shown as our leader, Eric Thornton, Tony Iverson. 3rd, Jonathan Sabir, Joe Volpus. And then behind them, cars are taking the opportunity to go in the pits. The sixth position of Lynott all the way back. Those cars all coming into the pits. Hunter Hall looks like he was your lucky dog, and that should put Hunter Hall back on the lead lap. We'd have 17 cars on the lead lap. So Hunter Hall, showing some perseverance, finally battles his way back into the lead after his early problems. We can only hope that he learned from that first extended caution or extended green flag run how to save those tires. Tires are at a premium out here. I can hear from the pits. Right rears are burning up, especially when these fellas get into some side-by-side action. That guy on the top is just leaving a trail of rubber, whereas that inside lane, very similar to Kansas, you can save tires, but you're just going to cost yourself so much speed. So really got to determine what's worth it to you more, tires early or speed late.
Yeah, it's going to be a different set of priorities here, I think, and I think it is going to be a lot about trying to read the field. How many more cautions you think we're going to get? This field, I think, is going to start to get smaller as more people have used their fast repairs, and there's also just more damaged cars
in the pits. Kevin Brower and Jack Sanders also being shown a lap down now. But hey, Brower. Hunter Hall back on the lead lap.
Sanders coming back out. Yep, Hall getting his lap back, so good for Hall. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, Gene, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys prioritize here. I mean, I think what you may have learned there is, first of all, don't take two tires. And secondly, tires, I do think, are going to be pretty much everything. The delta is just really big after about 10 laps.
Sanders going to go Brower going to go another lap down as they zip around him. Brandon Guerin going to take this opportunity to come back in. Not sure if he's going to top off or if he needs a little bit of the old Sawzall on the back of his car.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys probably, they have that fast repair still, not wanting to use it, seeing how nasty these wrecks can get. And yeah, I think a guy like Brower, no choice but to just sit in there and get that damage fixed without that choice anymore.
This just in from the radio. Looks like Brower's going to call it. He is bringing it to, actually, he's not bringing it to the trailer. He's going full Kyle Busch, and he is just leaving it. All right, so here we go. Let's go back up front. Look at our leader, Colin. The pace car is off. 53 control car. He's on the inside. Great jump right there. Iverson and Thornton behind him racing side by side. Thornton on that outside, finally going to get the advantage, take over that second spot. Front three cars are single file. Joe Volpus going to be the fourth car, gets single file in front of Mata and Quesabir. Remember, we saw Mata and Quesabir earlier. They are teammates, but they were side by side for 4 straight laps. Volpus goes high, and the teammates are on him.
And they almost made contact there. I don't
want to get split by those two.
No, I do not. But man, they got to figure it out amongst themselves right now as they almost collected each other in the exit of that corner, coming real close. As you see, Thornton, he's been fantastic on these restarts today, trying to have something for Bollinger here as Tony Iverson tried to breathe down their neck, and Volpus has worked his way back through the field in 4th place here. So I have my eye on that 07 as well, Mean Gene.
And we are single file all the way back to 11th place. Make that 13th place now as everybody now just trying to put in some laps. Top 15 cars still on the lead lap. Jack Sanders in the back of the field, 1 lap down. Kevin Brower out, and Zachary Tyler choosing not to make the start. Colin Bollinger still in the lead here today. I love the battle between those teammates, though. Quesabir and Mata, they're rivals and friends.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. A lot of rivalries like that, or a lot of rivalries like that today, and here's one right here. 2 more sets of teammates absolutely going for it. Thornton and Iverson battling for second here, as Iverson is just so loose on the bottom of the racetrack there, but he makes it work, completes the passes. Thornton trying to clear, or not so much clear, but get in front of Volpus there. Volpus does the crossover. Volpus going to try to do what he just watched Iverson do.
Yeah, but look at the speed Volpus loses in that turn. Thornton managing to keep it a little bit more open, but I'd say Thornton lost a little bit more tire than Joe in that exchange.
Yeah. Yellow was out.
Caution.
As Guerin goes around, it appears. Here's Guerin with a damaged race car, and I'm assuming that's what this is.
Owen's way back there with them boys, too. What's going on?
Uh-oh. Oh, wait, that wasn't it. Oh, looks like it was Hall and Lynott. I apologize. Here we go. Here's the knot. Around. Oh, he's loose there. Saves it. Kyle gets into him, and around he goes. And Hunter Hall Hunter Hall and Owens in an unrelated accident behind that, Mean Gene.
That looked bad. Let's go back there.
So let's see what happens here. Here goes Hall in the corner. He's loose. He's into the wall he goes. And Owens just completely unrelated.
Owens is perfecting that single car spin there on that inside lane.
He is really getting good at it.
He's just practicing.
Let's take a look at what happened to Owens here. So 4 wrecks really at once there. Here goes Owens into the wall. I think going to respond to seeing Hall hit the wall and just gets a little bit loose. Pretty much in that same spot.
You know what's going to happen.
Yep. But Owens not hitting anything there. Oh, shit, that was in front of Hall. Wow. Bizarre one there, Mean Gene.
And then Guerin, made it by. Now, I'll tell you what, Zach, something I'm really noticing here. Some of these tracks throughout the circuit, when there's a wreck in front of you, you let off, you turn the corner, you're okay. This track, it just seems like if you are not on the throttle, if you don't have the throttle helping you make traction, that back end just seems to be spinning on more than one driver. You really got to think about maybe like there's an egg underneath the throttle and you're just lightly rolling that thing, because as soon as you're off that gas, that rear end comes right around.
I think what's also super weird about iRacing sometimes, Mean Gene, and I'm not sure if it's this extreme in real life, but it certainly is in this, is oftentimes when someone gets loose, like the way you saw Owens get loose in front of Hall there, that violent wake of dirty air, like very dirty air, because it's all, you know, messed with because it's been spun in by a car, almost seems to want to do the same to you. So if you drive through that wake of air, it really just feels like someone kicked the rear end of your car and sends you loose, and oftentimes makes you end up doing something that looks a lot like what the car in front of you did. So it could be a little bit of that too, with the air kind of lingering there and creating problems for cars as they enter corners.
Yeah, synchronized spinning. Owens, though, he touched that apron, and you're not going to get away with that.
No, you're not.
This is not Indianapolis. Indianapolis, I'm aiming for that apron to help pull me through. But any other track, I'm ducking that apron.
Yeah, absolutely. This place is not one to be messed with that apron. It's all too easy to get loose if you just as much as kiss that thing. So you got to be super, super careful. And like we saw with Owens, oftentimes when you do hit it, it's the damage is done. You're going around.
All right, so lots of cars taking that opportunity to get some repairs.
Eric Thornton,
from Owens back.
All the way to the back of the field.
Thornton, yeah.
So, 48.
Was that fuel or
15
tires?
seconds. That was tires. 15 seconds of pit time there for Eric Thornton. So that was, I mean, scheduled for him. Interesting. He's going to be, I think, the only one really on that strategy.
Well, we're on lap 67. Remember, we're just going to take it to 70. We might have a green-white, and keep on going for the stage.
Yeah, I'm assuming we will. And this is going to be a shootout for these guys. We're going to go green this time. So, yeah, 3 laps to determine the winner of this stage.
Oh, this will be exciting to see who's going to take all those chances. Colin Bollinger is your control car. He's at 53 Dr. Pepper on the inside lane. He's going to roll into the Geico restart zone. Great jump as he is going to pull right ahead of Tony Iverson. Iverson on the outside is in second. Here comes Volpes, tries to get side by side, but Iverson with a little more momentum. Iverson pulls up into second. Volpes and Mata now side by side. Jonathan Quesabir right behind them for fifth. Good run by Mata into the turn. It's Bollinger, though, looking strong. Coming out of the turn number 4. He's going to lead this lap. 2 more to go to see who gets the stage.
Every spot matters here, Mean Gene. These guys have to go for it. These points are so valuable as we get super close to the playoffs. So you're going to see these guys take chances like it's the end of the race. And I'm looking at the 13 and wonder if he's going to have anything at all for the 53 of Bollinger.
Yeah, if you look back a little bit more, how about that battle between, here's Hillman, Owens, Medina, all those cars all bunched up. That's Novella on the outside.
3 DDI teammates.
Almost make contact, but those guys are being aware. I guess they got the captain up there on the mic telling them, do not
be careful, boys,
right now. All right, so lap 70 coming around. It looks like Bollinger gonna be the one to take it. If
look
he
at
doesn't
Volpes
spin,
send it.
Woo, Joe sent it, but it still stayed high.
Didn't stick.
Coming across that start-finish line, and your stage winner is Colin Bollinger, Tony Iverson second, Mata third, Vulpes 4, Quesabeer 5, Medina 6, Hillman 7, Novella 8, Owens with points, and Kevin Kyle in 10th. Those are your top 10 for the stage.
Whoa, Vulpes! Around goes Joseph Vulpes.
So, Joe.
He catches it. And we're not going to yellow for that one. So that is rough for Joseph Vulpes. I think he got loose on exit again there, Mean Gene. And that's going to cost them all his track position back of the field.
Yeah, Joe Vulpes going to fall back into 13th place. He's only 4 or 5 seconds behind the leader. That's okay, right?
The track where you're doing laps at the times that you are here, it's quite a bit, Mean Gene.
We'll find out, though. Vulpes, he is at the back of the group he's in. But he's got a little lead on Jack Sanders. Should be okay. Back up to the front, though. Colin Bollinger, almost a second lead over Tony Iverson. Remember, Colin's got 2 wins. He'd love to collect a third. He is the defending Wednesday night Xfinity champion. So Colin Bollinger, no stranger to victory lane. He could be putting on another show right here, right now. Tony Iverson got a different idea. And behind them, the MC Motorsport teammates of Mata, Quesabeer, Alex Hillman, top DDI driver right now, running 5th, but he's got a rear view mirror filled with Jose Medina.
So a couple guys I have my eye on. The guy you just brought up, Alex Hillman, he was super fast to start this race. Started on the front row, had some early trouble like we just saw with Vulpes, and has since recovered. Now we get to see what he learned from that first experience to make sure that doesn't happen again, and he has enough tire to make it work as we get to the later parts of this run. And also that, in 9th place now, that number 1 of Eric Thornton, the freshest tires on the track to my knowledge, Mean Gene. I am excited to see how quickly he can work through the field. It's already picked up a handful of spots.
Yeah, taking those tires now, some might wonder about it, but hey, there was no caution there. Might be a good move. Vulpes starting to make his way up, passes Steve Lewis to get back into the 12th place, but that 07 has a long way to go. Iverson now pulling away from Mata and Quesabeer. He can focus fully on Colin Bollinger, but Colin pushing that lead to a full second now. He's got to be feeling good about his prospects.
Yeah, he absolutely does. Bollinger really has had impressive pace since he's gotten up front. No one has had anything for him. It almost looks like it's going to take a different tire strategy or some bad luck for anything to beat that 53 of Bollinger right now. Look at him right now, Mean Gene. When we put the camera on him, does it not look like this guy is just out for a Sunday drive?
Yeah, he's hitting his marks for sure. Hitting that apex just perfectly, bringing it down. Got to be happy. I'll tell you who's not happy, though. That has got to be Quesabeer, because he has got an eyeful of Hillman right behind him. Single file back beyond that, except for perhaps Novella. And David Owens still in this group. So he's got to be happy with what he's doing.
Yeah, Owens doing the best they can to hang on in front of him. There is Eric Thornton. He's picked up 2 more spots, Mean Gene. He's now up to 7th, looking to the outside of Jose Medina right here. I think we'll probably do a crossover and look to the bottom as they enter 1 and 2. No, he's going to try to ride the top instead and use that momentum to carry around the 54. But that one is getting through the field at a rapid rate right now, so my eye is on him. And I'm excited to see if he has anything for Bollinger, if he's able to get that far up the field.
Yeah, he made Medina use up a little bit too much in that turn and was able to get side by side with him here. Medina's going to tap that wall. That should give Thornton the momentum he needs and the tires to bring it on down. Thornton now behind Hillman. Owens trying to make a move on Matt Novella just behind them. So David Owens not ready to park it just yet. Up front, that lead of Colin Bollinger. Remember, it was a second. Yeah, it's 2 now.
And here, it's gotten only bigger, and this could be why, Mean Gene. Here we go, a battle for second place between Mata and Iverson. And the more these guys are side by side, the more that 53 of Bollinger gets to drive away from them. Side by side, as we always talk about, is literally never faster than in a straight line and run the lines that you prefer. But Mata starting to pull away from Iverson a little bit here. So we'll have to keep our eye on that 16 car as he's gotten the track position now, Mean Gene, and has been able to hold on to it, doing a great job with that. And here are Quesabeer and Hillman joining the party as well.
Yep. Meanwhile, lap cars might become an issue. Brandon Guerin, he is the first car lap down, and you can see just how quickly Bollinger has caught up with him. So we are going to see lap traffic come in. It'll only be a little bit of lap traffic. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. and Garen, being a veteran driver, should be able to keep it on the straight and narrow and stay out of the leader's way.
Let's rewind real quick here, me and Gene, and look at this moment that Bollinger just had on the exit of 4. Whoa.
Oh, Tokyo Drift.
Yes, absolutely, and not what you want when you're leading a race. And just like that,
Mata likes it because Michael Mata now was 2 seconds down. Now he's 1.
Yep, that mistake cost him a full second, and now Michael Mata salivating at the bit, seeing that mistake, as there goes the 53 around the 57 of Garen, putting him a lap down. Garen nursing around that injured car, as look over here, it just keeps getting closer and closer, and Eric Thornton has officially joined this party with the freshest tires, as look at Iverson kind of stalling out Case of Beer in front of him. This could create a 3-wide situation, at least Case of Beer next to him. Behind him, Thornton looking to the inside of Hillman. Oh, man.
Well, he got 1.
Could he go
Almost
2 for
got
1?
all of them.
Wow, this is tough.
And Hillman has to back off. That was scary. Lap driver going to be an issue. Thornton's got to hold it. He lets off to avoid contact. Smart driving by Eric Thornton right there to avoid contact. He knew Case of Beer was going to slam it down to avoid that lap car.
And Iverson by far gained the worst of that one, me and Gene. He went all the way from 4th to 6th in that exchange. I'm sorry, 3rd to 6th in that exchange. So from a podium spot to outside the top 5, with now Medina breathing down his neck.
Ooh, Owens is going to make contact with that lapped car of Garen. That's going to cost him a spot, as Kevin Kyle going to zip on by. Garen doing his best to stay out of the way, but people who like that outside lane might meet him. And there we go. Owens finally gets by the lapped car of Garen.
As in there goes Thornton.
3 seconds up front.
Oh, wow, yeah. Look at how close this has gotten. Here we go. Pit lap difference right now, Mean Gene, is 20 laps. So even with Mata pulling this off, which is very impressive, and he's on a 10-lap different strategy than Thornton is. So Thornton with 9-lap newer tires than Mata has. But I'm still impressed with Bollinger, and I'm still not even that nervous about this one, Mean Gene, if I'm Bollinger, because those tires are ancient compared to Mata's.
And he did the Tokyo Drift, so that couldn't help.
Probably more than once, considering how quickly this lead is just completely evaporated.
Yeah. And then, of course, no sooner does Mata get close, then he'll push it another 1/10 of a second advantage. But Mata really bringing it. He is just putting on a display here. And meanwhile, looking back, his teammate Case of Beer third, and Eric Thornton really starting to reel those guys in. Alex Hillman still part of this party, though, been running up front all day. Hillman currently being shown as 5th.
So,
Novella and Medina
yeah,
side by side.
close call there between 2 other guys who run for Team Daily Drivers Inc. in different leagues. A lot of DDI action in our top 5 right now. Is okay, I was about to say, one of these guys going to pit, and there's your answer, and that is interesting. So Mata brings it in, and I was surprised, me and Gene, really surprised, that Bollinger didn't bring it in earlier, because he had pit on lap 33, and even with those cautions, that tells me he is good to make it to the end of this race. I can't believe he didn't bring it in earlier, because that advantage that he had over Mata was going to have is gone. They're going to have equal tires now. I think Mata, as long as all goes according to plan for both drivers, they're going to come out together exactly where they were, with Mata still in front of Bollinger. And equal tires.
If you're calling Bollinger, he'll take that shot.
Here we go. Here we go. And yeah, just like I said, identical. So now, yeah, you're Bollinger, you'll take that shot. You probably think, or you definitely think you're faster than Mata straight up. But now it is straight up, and I think this is the first time these two have been this way and been this close.
Well, they better hope nothing crazy happens, because they're actually a lap down.
Yep, I was going to say
likes that.
Now they're a lap down.
Jonathan Case of Beer is being shown as your leader. He's getting some points. Eric Thornton right behind him. There's Alex Hillman, Iverson, Novella. All those lead cars are within a second of each other.
Wow, and Thornton drifts it through 90% of the corner there. These guys are so loose. I'd be so nervous about that strategy, but I get why you do it if you're the 53 or the 16. But man, if you're one of these guys, I would be hard-pressed to pit Mean Gene, because you are where the action is. You're seeing for yourself with your own 2 eyes how close you are to the caution lap after lap, and you don't want to be trapped a lap down and lose your chance or control this race.
Back in the pit. Somebody was speeding.
Oh, no. Bollinger in the pits if he comes back into his stall. that'll tell us that something went wrong. Because I think you just drive
can't
through.
Do that. Nah, you can't do that.
You can't. If he's serving a penalty, you can't do what you did or what he's doing right here, Mean Gene. I wonder what happened with the Bollinger.
This clock is moving so slow for the 53. There's Joe Volpus. He's taking his opportunity to pit now. Oh, this penalty is still going.
I know, and I know what I'm doing right now is brutal. I was just trying to figure out what went wrong there, Mean Gene. I don't know.
I mean, he's still in the pit. I'm looking at it. He's not moving.
How long has it been now? For Bollinger. Oh, man, we're going on a minute right now. It's been a minute. Chair.
I feel like I'm at the dentist, and they're ready to pull your tooth, and the gut dentist is like, okay, can you feel anything? Yes. Yes, I can. But they're going to pull it anyway. Here you go. He's rolling. Finally.
Feel a little bit of pressure here.
Oh, we're speaking of pressure. How about up front? Hillman and Thornton, they got to feel great now.
Yeah.
The two ringers are out of there. And now it's Hillman and Thornton battling.
The pay window is wide open, and these two are just sending it. You can see right there, Thornton trying to put the squeeze on Hillman, not allow him to get the run that he wants to get to his inside with any forward momentum through 1 and 2. Look at Hillman. Hillman clearly the faster car right now. Really wanted to get this pass completed. It's one thing to catch him, Mean Gene, another thing to pass him.
Yeah, and look at Matt Novella bringing it on the outside. He knows he's going to pit soon. Why not wear out the rest of those tires? And Novella currently running third. There's Iverson, Jose Medina. So again, all these top cars within 1 second of each other. Right there, Hillman, Thornton, side by side racing. As we'll see that outside lane. No,
not yet, Hillman.
What a run!
Watch how loose this wheel is going to be as he tries to get a run out of 1 and 2 here, Mean Gene. It's going to be so free, and that I think was what Hillman needed. We'll see if that, and he clears them. Alex Hillman to the lead. And right on cue, the caution comes out. Kevin Kyle looks like he has gone around right behind this group, actually.
Wow.
Trying to get a look on Kyle here for us. Here we go. Oh, boy. Look to the top of your screen here. Medina and Kyle. This is Novella. Let's look at Kyle here. 3 wide with Medina on the inside, Novella in the bottom. And Novella goes into pit, and around goes Kyle pretty much on his own, and that overcorrection we've seen so many times today as it snaps back around and brings out the caution.
Here we go. He held that wheel. Good for him.
I want to see Matt Novella there. Did he continue to go down the pits? He did. I am very curious to see how iRacing rules that. And that could either be the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world for Matt Novella right there.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not either. It's one or the other.
Yeah, it won't be
it's not somewhere in the middle. Exactly. It's not somewhere in the middle. That's for sure. So we'll see.
He's like, you know what? While I'm here, let's take 4 tires and fuel up, boys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no matter what, your bed's made, and it's not up to you anymore. So here we go. Everyone bringing it down. I'm curious to see if Mata, they don't. So 53 Bollinger obviously does it, but Mata doesn't. That's what I'm curious about. Mata does not bring it down. And what that does mean, Gene, do you know why that's pure evil?
Because he's going to stick other boys a lap down.
Specifically, that car right in front of him. He just killed the wave around. Wait. Was Mata on the lead lap?
Yes, I think Mata had made it back.
Then there's no wave around. And that means that Colin Bollinger, who is 3 laps down, guess how many of those he gets back right now?
Uno.
Nope. Missed
Dos?
0.
Zero.
There is no wave around. All the lead lap cars need to pit for there to be a wave around. That's
no bueno.
Brutal. Bollinger, man, it always seems like the races where you're just leading out there, leisurely loving your life, are the ones where something like that goes wrong, right?
I mean, but think about it. He's 3 laps down. He's only, 3 David Owens self-spins away from being back on the lead lap.
Yeah, and this will be a telling moment here as they cross the start-finish line and our scoring goes live, because I don't know who's where. Okay, I have Eric Thornton scored as I have Hillman scored as my leader. Thornton scored as second place. Iverson, Owens, Medina, Lynott, Volpus, and oh my goodness. Remember how I said it's going to be the worst or best thing for Matt Novella? It was the worst. It was the worst. I believe Novella is going to go to the back of this field and go a lap down.
No.
Yep.
victimized.
Absolutely. Nothing he could do about that. I think even if Mountain Novella drives through and doesn't take the tires like he did, I still think he gets the pit close penalty. Same crap happens to him, and brutal situation for the 56 and Novella. You just really feel like, why me when this type of stuff happens to you, right? Like, what were the odds of that? We're talking seconds, or all that could cost or made that type of situation happen. And he has the worst luck you'll ever see. And so what I'm also seeing, Mean Gene, is that Mata may have been a lap down. Because, and he was. There he is, driving around the pace car. So that does tell me that Mata was a lap down, which also means that the wave around probably does occur here. Let me see if I can find Bollinger. Yep, there he is getting one back. So Bollinger will get one lap back, and he will go down to 2 down. So why that's important for Mata, and honestly, Mean Gene, really, really bad for Michael Mata. He was a lap down, so he takes that wave around.
He was ready. He was going to be the guy in the lead.
If that cycled through. And instead, now, Mean Gene, he is on 7 lap older tires because he couldn't pit with the wave around, and he's in 11th place.
Didn't we see that happen to him at a race last year?
We did.
Position and then zip, zap, zop.
Yep.
Straight to the back.
And here we go out of 4.
Right, so pace car is off. Alex Hillman is your control car. We go green. The 08 is going to lead him off. Iverson sticks tight with him. You can see Eric Thornton on the outside. Jose Medina 4. David Owens shown his 5th. Side by side behind the leader. They're going to split him. Hillman comes up, puts a block on Thornton. That's going to let Iverson get a slight advantage. Iverson side drafting with Thornton. Hillman powering into 3. They're going to go 3 wide. Can Thornton hold it? No,
wow.
He backs off. Iverson powers it, but it's Hillman going to lead this first lap under green.
Not sure if Thornton thought he was going to make contact with Hillman, because I don't think he was, or if he's just the class act that move indicated, because that was a class move. And Lewis goes around goes Steve Lewis. And that's going to bring in our yellow. And I'm going to keep my eye on the pits here.
Bollinger says, "Mwah, ha, ha."
Mean Gene, there is one thing that I think is a no-brainer right now.
Actually, Hunter Hall was a lap down. I think Hunter Hall's going to be your
he
lucky
will.
dog.
But Mean Gene, if you are, and let me find him real quick on track. Not this guy.
Not this guy.
If you're this guy.
Not here, but here.
Put 4 tires on it right now. That's what I would do if I was Michael Mata. Now is your moment.
Just stick 4.
Yep, you'll get what? A 3-lap advantage, but above all, you'll protect that opportunity to win this race, which I think is gone if you're Mata and if you stick with that set of tires. You got to bring it down right now. Maybe, and you don't want to take that risk, Mean Gene. We got 33 to go, probably 30 as Kevin Kyle is going to take advantage of it and bring it down behind him. There goes Kevin Kyle into the pits. There he is.
Well, there's been 3-4 cars that are just so fast, it's going to take something special to beat them. Hillman has just been so fast all day. Thornton showing that late speed. But when Michael Mata or Colin Bollinger was in the front, those guys just seemed untouchable. So Bollinger going to get a lap back here, I believe. And if Mata would come in,
I think he missed his chance.
Yeah, he stayed out. You should have been his crew chief.
I mean, that's why I don't do that. That's why I'm in the booth here making wrong decisions all the time, Mean Gene. Because, man, I mean, on the flip side of that little strategy I just came up with for Mata, which Kevin Kyle did take. So let's see how that works out for Kevin Kyle. But what if we get a caution, excuse me, in 10 laps? And then we have 22 to go. And these guys like, Hillman, Iverson, Thornton, Medina, Owens are either out of tires or don't want to lose that trap position. And then you get to come down. Now we're talking a 20-lap advantage, and this thing is over, and you got them. So if he does have one set left, and he's under the impression that the rest of the field doesn't have that same set, yeah, I could understand wanting to be a little bit greedy and hold on for a little bit longer. But and also I could also understand thinking if these guys do have their extra set, and they would do that if we get a caution, in 10, 15 laps, you don't want to be stuck with your pants down after you used your last set of tires. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Trying to run 31 laps.
Exactly.
30 laps, whereas other guys are going to come in and get that for that last 15 lap shootout.
Yeah, we're in Iowa, boys, not Vegas. Can't keep the pants down.
I thought we locked the door to this booth.
So Hillman right now being shown as your leader as they are bringing it around. Tony Iverson, Eric Thornton. We've been talking about these names all day. Jose Medina, he's been knocking on that door. Got a little loose a few times, but he's still running up in that front after that risky two-tire strategy. David Owens behind him. Kyle Lynott, Michael Mata needs to make his way through, but it's trapped. Joe Volpus, a beneficiary of the caution after he had that incident that did not bring out a flag. Jack Sanders, 9. Jonathan Casabir, also running very strong at the beginning now, has to make his way through some traffic.
And we talked
Lights
so
are
much
off the pace score.
Before this race, me and Gene, about how the teams were kind of thinned out and the same alliances that we saw last week might not come into play. But what do we know? We're late in this race, and we have 2 teams to make up our top 5: DDI and what's the
Hustlers.
The Hustlers, the Unholy Alliance. So it is about to come into play.
All right, so waiting for the pace car to get out of the way so we can get this thing under. They're coming out of 4. You're going to see the pace car shoot off quickly. Alex Hillman on the outside is your control car. He starts right about the middle. Great start for him. Going to get a 3-car lead. That's going to put Medina, Iverson side by side. Eric Thornton brings it up high, cuts down low behind his teammate.
Look at Medina.
Loses a little bit of momentum. Hillman still rolling. Now Thornton side by side with Medina. Kyle Lynott 5th behind them, but it's going to be Hillman rolling out of turn 4 and a caution.
Come on, boys.
Looks like Brandon Guerin. Something happened to my man, Brandon.
Chantilly Lace sponsored this caution. Just kidding, Brandon. Let's see what happens here. I think Guerin's still dealing with, like we've talked about all day, with that poor 57, a damaged race car, and I don't think Guerin's been able to fix it to where it's a fun race car to drive. So here he is in the exit of the corner, a tiny checkup in front of him. My guess he's about to grab a handful of brake in response to that checkup and go around. Let's see. Let's just go real time, Gene. Oh, he's gonna go.
He wanted some steak.
Yes, sir. Man, you beat me to it. Let's get that baby up there.
Some steak.
Because there's only one way to describe that. And I'm gonna spell it out for you.
You know what it was? Is I think Steve Lewis was bragging about that steak he had earlier.
And he's like, let me show you the
probably
steak.
thought that, he probably thought Steve had a little bit in the car and he wanted to check it out.
Yes, sir. Yes, he did. So now, me and Gene, now do we pay? Let's take a look at this.
All right, so it looks like Brandon Guerin and Steve Lewis both in the pits. Looks like Hunter Hall also going to bring it down. That's 13th, 14th, and 15th position. Meanwhile, guess who I see zipping around the track? That's right, the 53 of Colin Bollinger. So Colin going to bring it around. I think that still will put him 1 lap down. So he'll be down to that final lap. 1 more caution, and he should be on his way. Alex Hillman still being shown as your leader. We crossed the start-finish line. That is lap 113. We are going to 140. So we still have 26 laps remaining before we come to the end of Iowa Speedway. This is the Monday Night Mayhem on the MRL Broadcasting Network. Again, I am Mean Gene Money. I have my partner, Zach Panzarella, bringing you all the action. 12-race regular season leading to our playoffs. It is a win-and-you're-in situation, and Alex Hillman would love to punch his ticket. Iverson, Thornton, Medina, Lynott, all the top 5 drivers looking for their first win. He would love for that to happen here today. Behind them, David Owens, he's your top runner with a win, currently being shown in 6th. Michael Mata 7, Joe Volpus in 8, but all top 5 drivers looking for their first win, and they would love to have it happen right here today at Iowa.
Yeah, I told you, me and Gene, this is going to be a great opportunity for a lot of these guys to collect their first win. And like you said, you look at our top 5, and that would be a first top 6, top Yeah, our top 6, if whatever the hell Owens is doing. And that would be the first W for any of these guys in this league. And for some of them, their first MRL win altogether. Guys like Alex Hillman, Jose Medina looking for their first career MRL win. So this is a big moment for these guys. And I'm not going to lie to you, Mean Gene. I'm not going to have any bias in here. But, man, I'm a little bit nervous right now.
You're a little nervous.
I mean, I got my boy Hillman, my boy Medina. We all know how much I just have a crush on Tony Iverson. And I like all these guys.
Yeah, but Tony Iverson, I mean, Sean Walton's not here. The next guy to use their bumper the most is definitely got to be Tony Iverson.
I mean, the car is black and red after all. Oh, God, so is Hillman's, to be fair. So is Hillman's.
If he smacks Medina, it'll be black and yellow, black and yellow.
Nice.
All right, coming into the Geico restart zone. Great jump by Hillman. Iverson with a slow start, but his buddy Thornton stays in line. Medina side by side. Iverson dives in deep.
Wow.
Hillman though, on that preferred line. Ooh, they're 3 wide, getting a little bit loose. Deeper in the pack, you can see Kyle Lynott, Michael Mata in the 57. The 07 of Volpus. Oh, and he blinked a little. That was scary.
Was that a Volpus
Up front, Hillman wiggles, keeps it going straight, leads that lap. That is lap 116. We still got 23 to go.
You sandwich the laps we have left. I mean, 24 to go right now, but you weren't far off at all. As look at Iverson putting on so much pressure to that 08 of Hillman. I think right now what Iverson would rather have happen here, especially with that teammate behind him, is have Hillman slip up and make a mistake so that 1 and that 13 can drive by together and race it out amongst themselves. As Iverson, just like you said, not afraid to use that bumper right to the rear end of Hillman. Man, I don't know if he can put on any more pressure. And look what Hillman has breathing down his neck now, Mean Gene. 3 teammates.
Yeah, Owens definitely making his name heard. He's got the flu. He's tired. He's jumping in our booth in the middle of the broadcast, but in all the middle of that,
someone told him the key lock pad, the pad code.
That's right. He teleported. I could smell the sulfur. Must be related to Nightcrawler. Alex Hillman, though, trying to keep these boys off of him, hugging that bottom lane. He's going to force them to take it up high. So close in that last turn. Iverson now looking high. This is where Hillman wants to send him.
Almost a bump and run there from Iverson, the exit the corner there, Mean Gene. I'm not sure if there was. It's right there again. These guys are entering in totally different ways. You're seeing Hillman be able to dive it in deep, but not having the same exit speed that Iverson has. And so look for Iverson here on the exit to pull up neutral with Hillman and hopefully have a run. Not able to do it. Drifting up with his teammate, giving him the room he needs. But Thornton peeking below. Iverson saying, absolutely no way, buddy. Let's go handle this 08 first, and then we can do that. Man, that 08 of Hillman doing a fantastic job playing defense right now. And we haven't talked enough about this, Mean Gene. We've talked about how it's created wrecks, but how much is dirty air playing a factor right now?
Yeah, dirty air and side drafting really affecting these cars. We saw this in real life at Atlanta where that front driver had the ability to go anywhere he wanted freely. I think we're seeing that again. And now that Iverson and Thornton side by side, that side drafting going to be an issue. A little bit further back, looks like David Owens is blocking the field like Earnhardt at the 01 Daytona race.
Oh, God.
Medina trying to get by him. And then you can see Joe Volpus, Kyle Lynott. Volpus has got to get by Medina really quickly before he uses those tires up if he wants to repeat his performance from 2 years ago.
That Earnhardt reference, Mean Gene.
Iverson.
Iverson!
Sideways.
He saves it. We stay green.
Owens tapped him.
I was going to say, I think he got straightened out by a race car, which normally is not good for either race car besides the fact that it keeps you straight and keeps us green. Iverson, if we don't get a caution, there goes his chance to win this thing, and everything just becomes more and more picture perfect for the 08 of Alex Hillman. Trying to get that first MRL win. You can really, really see it now, I think, me and Gene. It's right there. Oh, man. That was a big moment for Iverson, and I'm wondering how much more of that we're going to see from the rest of this field as the pay window is open. We only have 16 to go this time around.
Iverson trying to recover, but he falls all the way back into 10th spot. Meanwhile, up front, Hillman has pushed that lead to 0.3 of a second. Behind him, Owens trying to hold off Medina and Volpus. Pressure burst pipes, and there is pressure on that track. As Medina looks high above Owens. Volpus frustrated on the radio. He's going to have to make that move if he's going to get through there. Meanwhile, Kyle Lynott trying to be a gentleman to Volpus, but he's got Jonathan Quesabir knocking on his rear.
I don't know what Volpus is frustrated about right now. Me and Gene, I mean, if he's mad about Medina not giving him a lane, there's 15 to go, buddy. Sorry. Like, I'm not racing for anyone besides myself, as Medina goes very high that time. He really made that work on the initial restart. That one didn't look as intentional, but nonetheless, Medina able to keep his momentum there. But, I mean, you can't expect any type of courtesy from any drivers here, just like you would not be yourself. It is go time.
I think Volpus is probably more disappointed in Owens being a moving roadblock and Medina showing too much patience.
Watch
There's
out,
Lewis
Steve.
off pace.
Watch out, Steve.
He's high.
Oh, God, get higher. There we go. Okay.
Oh, Jack Sanders gets through there. That was a tense moment.
Oh, yeah.
Back up front, Hillman still now 0.4 of a second over Thornton. Owens still trying to chase. He's got Medina, and he's got Volpus directly behind him. Quesabir side by side with Kyle Lynott. That's going to slow down those two fellas. But right now, the story is Owens holding up traffic, keeping the faster car of Medina and Volpus pinned down so that Hillman and Thornton can do battle up front. Hillman managing to keep that lead 0.4 of a second as we're clicking off laps. We're about to complete lap 29. They come out of turn 4, and it's still Alex Hillman in the lead.
Yeah, Owens, I think a little bit holding them up as it's now up to a second to this group. I also think Medina, someone who used to run on Team Daily Drivers Inc. in this league, now running with Motto's team, but a good friend of Hillman's and a good friend of a lot of the guys who run over that team and still running with them in leagues like yesterday in the Sunday BRL. So also, Medina not wanting to bring out that caution that could cost his friend the race right now. So having to be really careful around Owens. Owens, I think, taking advantage of that a little bit, trying to hold that track position, but at the same time, yeah, very much killing anyone's opportunity behind him to have a chance to win this race. And in front of them, Hillman doing everything he needs to do to keep Thornton behind him with only 10 to go in this race.
Yeah, Steve Lewis right now did go a lap down, and that is going to take.
Oh, Lenoa's loose. Lenoa's very loose.
Opportunity. Oh, and Novella almost makes contact with Lynott.
Yeah, they're not sorry.
Lewis is now your lucky dog candidate, so that's really going to destroy the day for Colin Bollinger. Hillman now 0.6 of a second lead as he has got 8 laps remaining in this race. If he does not make an error, he should be fine. Thornton off the pace a little. You can see Owens getting closer, but he does not want to get caught up in the dirty air of his teammate, because then suddenly Medina and Volpus would also be there. If Medina or Volpus could get by, that could spell some challenge for Thornton.
Yeah, that is exactly what Hillman wanted to see, though, is that one making a mistake and slipping up. But there he is again, loose through the center of the corner, no momentum on exit whatsoever. Honestly, Hillman should have opened up the lead more there with that Thornton error. Yeah, so I'm thinking Hillman also, I mean, both that 08 and that 1 have definitely driven their cars the hardest. That's why they're first and second place right now. 7 laps to go. Hopefully not enough time for anyone behind them to take advantage of how hard they've driven it. But that's all Hillman wants to see right now, is that right there. That one gets very loose again.
Owens.
Oh,
Volpus
wow.
gets past as well. Volpus now has Owens in front of him. Quesabir tries to go around side by side with Medina. 3 wide, Thornton lets off, Medina lets off, Quesabir into 4th. Hillman now with a 1.2 second lead over David Owens. Joe Volpus behind him, and a charging Jonathan Quesabir in 4th.
Medina to the bottom.
Crazy.
Medina all the way to the bottom. Looks like there was contact there. Medina gets punished for doing the right thing. Very, very loose race car of the one in front of him, and Medina checks up entirely to not drive through him and send him into the infield, and instead, and because of that, gets sent all the way back to 10th place. So unfortunate for the 54 Medina, who deserved the top 5 in this race, and does the right thing and pays for it. So that's a shame for Medina. Hopefully it will soften the blow if this 08 is able to get it done.
All right, looking back up front, that lead for Alex Hillman now 1.4 seconds, but the battle will be, can Joe Volpus catch David Owens? It's a gap, though. Owens with a 0.4 of a second lead. Behind them, Jonathan Quesabir. Thornton now under danger from Novella and the 25 of Jack Sanders. Sanders and Novella side by side. Thornton in a loose car. I wouldn't want to be there. And then there's Kyle Lynott in there as well. So watch out for Thornton. He's loose. Jack
Super
Sanders
loose. Oh
doesn't
no.
care.
Around goes Thornton.
And there's the spin, the pit maneuver by Matt.
Not a
Novella.
caution out yet. That was not on the
Thornton
racing
out.
surface, Mean Gene. That was not on the racing surface, so we're still green. Alex Hillman needs to bring this race car around one more time, and he will get the yellow flag. I'm sorry, the white flag, and the next flag will end it. Oh my goodness, this could not come at a quicker for Hillman here.
That was a hell of a pit maneuver right there.
It
All right,
certainly
so
was.
Hillman, he's bringing it into 3, looking strong. 1.3 second lead coming up on the lapper, Steve Lewis.
I think Lewis will probably let Hillman go here, as Hillman has been waiting so long to see this. The white flag, man, he was saved by the bell there. I mean, that was so close to a yellow and an overtime restart. 1 to go.
Hillman keeping it low, coming out of turn 2. He's on that backstretch. 1.3, 1.4 second lead, just getting bigger. He's bringing it into turn 3, keeps it low, maintains his speed, looking good. It looks like it's going to be Hillman's to win. Behind him, Owens and Case of Beer side by side. Case of Beer looks like he took it. Your winner, though, today, the 08 of Alex Hillman punches his way into the playoffs with a big win here today at Iowa. Zach, what a great run by that 08 Chevrolet.
I feel like the old wall trip in 2001 right now, me and Gene. I am so damn happy for this kid. I love this guy. As you can tell by the car, a loyal member of Daily Drivers Inc. races for us in so many different leagues, and he's been with us for about a year now, and I've watched him improve so much. He puts so much work week in and week out to getting better, so many hours, and it warms my heart so much to see guys like him. When you get to see it firsthand, Meiji, and you get to see all that work, and you see Case of Beer, a DDI teammate of him on Thursday, watching him burn it down, and man, I am so proud of this damn team, me and Gene. I got to gush over DDI real quick. Case of Beer got his first MRL win 2 weeks ago on Thursday. That wasn't on a truck, or I'm sorry, that wasn't on a super speedway. Did it under Daily Drivers Inc. banners, and then to watch the 08 and get to call it, watch him and get it done. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a little bit choked up. I'm so happy for my dudes. It honestly is genuinely better than when I win myself. I just could not be happier for these guys.
I don't have enough point of reference to say what it feels like. All right, so we're going to do 4 interviews. Anybody in particular you want to bring in for this bonus?
So it was Owens who got second, so good for him.
Yeah, he did. Hold on.
I think we can bring in our 4th place of Volpus. He did a great job today. Was there all day. He's always a good interview.
I'm looking for... who I wanted you to interview would be Bollinger, but I don't see him. I want to see I wonder what happened to that guy.
I can imagine him being a little bit frustrated.
Well, I like 4-letter colorful words, you know? Jump.
Man, when we get monetized, Mean Gene,
That's true.
I'm gonna have to keep it on
I'll have to rethink that. All right. So who you want to bring in then?
Let's bring in Volpus. He had a great run today, brought it home 4th, and he's our defending winner.
All righty, go for it.
Hey, Joe, we got you there.
Yo.
The real reason Mean Gene was because he was upset at the end of the race. So, great run today. You are the defending winner. I'm not sure if you remember, but you're the defending winner of this racetrack. Last time we were here, you won in this league. So congrats on that. And today, it certainly looked like you had the speed to do it. Just a lot of other fast race cars out there, and it looked like a lot of loose moments for a lot of drivers exiting corners and whatnot. So what was today like for you, and what does the 4th place feel like after everything you were through today?
Well, the race got off to a good start there. I was able to get to the lead. I think, I don't know, about 15 laps into the race or so. I don't remember how many. And I was setting sail, and then I made a decision to put tires on that first caution. And yeah, that was probably the wrong decision, to be fair. And I had a bad moment off turn 2. I forget how many laps into the race, but like I was pretty much just dirt tracking it down the whole backstretch on the apron, trying not to spin. And I was able to save the 0x, so that was a good thing about that. But I lost, like, I don't even know how many spots. I was running like 13th or something when I finally got going again. And then I was just about trying to make up spots. I short pitted to try and get track position back. And I saw Bollinger was on pit road, which was insane. I'm like, wait, we're coming around to lap him here. Wait a second, he was the leader. So he must have done something, I don't know what. Maybe you guys saw it with with whatever happened with him on pit road, and then
We
mere
don't know.
seconds later the caution comes out. I'm like, ah. So all the work of short pitting got thrown away, and just had to make up as many spots as I can. I think I restarted 11th or something like that after I got the lucky dog, and it's just about trying to get as many as I can back. And by that point there at the end, the tires, I don't know if it was the tires or if I probably just overheated them. This tire wear was fine. I think I just overheated them trying to get around as many of them as I could to get up to Hillman, and made a mistake on the last 2 laps there and cost myself a spot. But hey, it's a 0x. I led some laps and recovered from what probably would have been a race ender for a lot of people, to be fair.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of that from a lot of different people, so don't feel like you did make a mistake that pretty much everyone else didn't make themselves. And man, me and Gene, if it's Bollinger or Bollinger, whatever he just said, we've been walking around with the verbal equivalent of like spinach in our teeth the past 2 weeks. So we'll get to the bottom of that. All right, one more question for you, Vulpes. Who are you mad at on the radio on the last 10 laps there?
I was mad at somebody on the radio in the last 10 laps.
According to me, Gene.
No, you sure? I think it looked to me when you were out there that Medina was just being a little bit gentle with Owens, and then you started to make some moves. I saw your radio light up. I'm not sure who you were talking to, but the timing of you coming on the radio would have been when I was chirping.
Maybe you weren't, just act mad.
I don't even know what I would have. Maybe who would I have been keying up about? I know coming off for one of those laps, I think it was the one car got loose in front of Medina, and I had to make like a really, really ballsy move and go around the outside of both of them. So, I mean, I might have said something about that, but like it got really sketchy there for a second. I'm like, oh boy, I'm like, all right, let me miss them because they're getting checked up. And I'm like, oh, am I going to have enough room to squeeze through here? And I think I just had enough.
All right.
I can't remember keying up about anything to be mad at anybody.
Well,
you might, maybe it was somebody else.
Don't worry. Me and Gene will make up plenty of stories, so you don't have to even upset anything. You'll be fine.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, great job today, Joe. Always a pleasure getting to pull you into the booth today, and excited to watch you for the rest of the season. And I think in the playoffs, I'm pretty confident we will be. So great job today, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
If I could just do a shout out real quick as well. Yeah, it was nice listening to you guys do the broadcast yesterday. I know you got confused between me and Kyle's car yesterday, which was pretty funny. So the reason I was driving the paint scheme yesterday is I was driving it in tribute of a friend of mine who unfortunately committed suicide, way back when we were in high school 12 years ago. And that was the day after the 12-year anniversary, so I felt like it was an appropriate time to just drive a car to tribute him. And it was nice to, of course, confuse you guys in the as a secondary goal there. That was pretty cool as well. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out. If you ever have any sort of problems, there is help out there for you. 988 helpline is always available 24/7.
Yeah, that's really cool, Joe. And yeah, I did get you guys confused, but yeah, Lynott always racing that race against suicide paint scheme, which is very cool. Briefly, I'll talk about it. I lost my best friend about 5 years to a similar circumstance. So it's like Vulpes said, you're not alone, and there's a million other ways to confront certain life situations. So awesome to see stuff like that, and doesn't hurt that it's a really good looking race car. Those stripes look that makes that Mustang look better than ever. So awesome, shout out Vulpes, and awesome job today. Yep,
appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Yep, good run there, Dated by Joe. I was sad. I thought he was going to come back and do a little repeat action, but it was just not meant to be. I'm sure we're going to see him back up front, like you said. But speaking of up front, let's pull in another driver.
I'll get him for you.
That just finished in that third spot. That is going to be Jonathan Case of Beer. Jonathan, are you there, bud? You ain't talking.
We got your case of beer. Maybe. Oh, there you are.
There he is. All right. So last week you pull in a third place. This week you pull in a third place. What? Your team just starting to hit a swing right now.
Yeah, I'm just feeling really good. I'm getting in the right spots, and I'm driving the car way better than I ever have before. Keeping the tires under it. I'm extremely happy with the way I've been the last couple weeks.
I tell you what, there at the end, you just kind of showed the perfect combination of speed and patience, though. You had Vulpes and Medina playing footsies with David Owens, kind of backing up that whole field. Lanot's, Jack Sanders was all in that mess, Novella as well. And you just seemed to be able to pick that spot to be aggressive. When did you know it was go time with all that little group? At what point did you think now or never? Or did the seas just part for you?
I was kind of expecting another yellow with like 15 to go. Or a little less than that. So the last restart, I was like, I'm just going to just throw this thing around the high side as hard as I can and put tires on it when the yellow comes out. But the yellow never came, but everybody was throwing it just as hard as me. But it seems like they were throwing it harder before the yellow, so my tires still had more life than theirs. And just riding around the top, I was able to slowly pick guys off. And then, like you said, I think it was Medina and Vulpes or something. They got together and I went around the outside. And then it was just chased down the next two guys. And I almost had Owens. That was by a hair. He got me there.
Yeah, you did have the second fastest lap, that last lap of all the cars on the track. That last lap was the fastest of the top 5 cars as well. So really finding that spot to pick your move, just throwing it on the outside. Were you scared of that little bump in 1 and 2?
I was using the bump to help me. I could throw it in about high side to middle and pull the car down to the bottom. And when it hit the bottom bump, I'd wait just a split second and then I could punch it. And so I kind of used that bump as a little rotation to keep me off the wall.
That's insane.
Wow. Yeah,
That's
most
insane.
people fearing it. Jonathan K. Sabir able to use it to his advantage and pays off as he does 2 podium finishes. 3rd last week at Daytona, 3rd this week. Jonathan, you've got 2 top 5s, and this is your 4th start. So hopefully we'll continue to see you making those appearances. And who knows, next week could be your week when they take it to Watkins Glen. Do you like them road courses?
I like some of them. The
Everyone
favorite
knows
probably
Watkins
being
Glen, right?
my favorite probably being the Chicago Street Course. But Watkins Glen is an easy second. I haven't found any others beside those 2 that I can even keep that car between the lines.
You like the Chicago Street Course. I'll tell you what, we've got a
Infamous
guy
road
with
course.
a hypodermic needle and a white straitjacket for you out in the hallway right after this interview. I'll tell you what, Jonathan, hell of a race, man. Thanks for the show. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we head out?
Shout out Alex Hillman. Way to hold on. He was in voice chat with me and Matt all night. And anytime he was in the front, he was kind of panicked. And all I could do was tell him, just settle in. If they start going past you, let them do it. They're gonna eat their stuff up. And the whole time he's fighting for the lead. I'm telling him, if they're being too crazy, just back out because eventually your tires will be better than theirs. And he was able to hold on to it and get the win.
Hell yeah.
Another shout out to my direct teammate Michael Matta. He was strong all night. Had a little slip up off a corner that dropped him all the way back to the end of the lead lap. But aside from that, shout out to you guys and the whole MRL league for putting on everything the way it goes. And it's always fun to come out here week after week.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is a pleasure to watch you. Looking forward to seeing you next week and all season long. And hey, man, don't you have one more teammate out there? You got to get on the phone, get Bobby back out here. I was there last week when Bobby won. And isn't that the T-shirts we were making? So reach out to him, get him out there too. Good race today, Jonathan. Thanks, brother.
I almost wonder if he fell asleep again. He's done that one other time this season. I pinged him. He's like, my bad, boys, I fell asleep. So we're going to try and get him back out here the rest of the season.
Well, he's got to quit hanging out with those high side hustlers. Those guys, they'll do anything to win. Take care, brother.
You as well.
All right, man.
All right.
Always great to hear from Case of Beer. And
He was quick, man.
Yeah, and good shout for him. Famous road course, the Chicago Street Course. Gotta love that road course. I love that. I do love that place, man, G, and I can't wait to be there in a couple weeks on Thursday nights. Check in there on the same network on Thursday nights now being broadcasted. We should have brought that up today. But, all right, so who's going to talk to Owens?
That's you, brother.
Oh, lucky me. David Owens, how you doing today, man?
It's
Hey.
a loaded question.
I should have brought this up too, me and Gene. You know, if you couldn't tell, Case of Beer is sick also. So maybe it was a good thing today. Because if you were sick,
What?
yeah, Case of Beer he's been sick for about a week or two now.
Are y'all cousins? David, are you and Case of Beer cousins?
We're not kissing cousins.
He almost fell in my trap. Darn
Yeah,
it.
it was close, especially with the Alabama. David Owens, how was today? I mean, man, definitely seemed like a chaotic one for you today, front and back all day. I probably saw you go to the rear and back to the front more than anyone else today, whether it be different strategies or just moments in the race. So what was it like, and how much was the way you're feeling affecting you out there today?
100% the way I was feeling definitely affected it because my arms feel like jello right now. I hated these long runs. Typically I love them, but I needed short runs to give these arms a rest. That's why I was struggling on them long runs. I just did not have the reaction to help keep this loose car under me.
Yeah, and I guess that leads me to my next question. I actually dealt with that probably about a month ago. I had the flu and I raced through it. Honestly, because it was just distracting me from how crappy I felt, and also it was an opportunity to sweat out a little of this stuff. What was affecting you more, the mental or the physical part of it? Because I had such a hard time getting to that spot, where you just are so locked in and you're not seeing anything else besides you in the racetrack. I just couldn't get there as often as I wanted to.
Definitely the focus there. That's, if you notice, I kind of ran the middle high line most of the race because I didn't want to take the chance of wrecking other people because I couldn't react in time. So I was trying to hope everybody would just pass me, and those few times we went 3 wide was nerve-wracking. So definitely mentally just couldn't stay focused, but physically wise, these long runs just destroyed my arms. So trying to hold on to that second place finish there at the end was very tough.
Yeah, I can imagine. And yeah, I had the same issue, and I had the same thing too, where like I was trying to run lines, like whether it be the top or just like out of the way, right? Because I didn't want to cost anyone anything, because I knew I wasn't as there as I need to be. So I never really felt like I truly had a chance to win the race. Like I felt like I was kind of just trying to make the best of a bad situation. So I'm sure you felt similar today. You didn't drive like it though, man. You did a great job out there today. So shout out to you. You did wonderful. Second place, especially with how much chaos there was today and how much you did have to use that top of mindness and avoid those wrecks. Very, very impressive. So great job today. Excited to see you back when you're full strength, and at least you got to enjoy Atlanta and hopefully not too sick there. Actually, no, you weren't in Atlanta. You're probably still sick from Daytona, aren't you? That's probably what this is. But either way, at least you were just doing something fun, and we're excited to see you heal up. And don't feel obligated if you don't feel great on Thursday to show up for that one either, Owens. Rest up, buddy.
Yeah.
Just rest up, man. Get that rest. But anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you out of here?
Just appreciate all the people that show up for this league week in and week out. These drivers that show up, MRL, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, none of it would be where we're at now. So appreciate everybody up to that. Appreciate you, Buddy, and Jerry up here in the booth for putting on these broadcasts.
Ooh.
It definitely helps.
No, Jerry.
Definitely helps up there. So
I think
sorry,
he was thinking of Dalton, I think.
Yeah. Shout out to Dalton on Sunday. That was a hell of a broadcast there too.
Yeah, shout out.
Race there yesterday with the flu as well. Didn't get the outcome I wanted. I think there was a Canadian that helped put me in the back. So
Damn Canadians.
we'll see how that goes next. We'll see how that goes next week.
Yeah, the rivalry between Alabama and Canada continues. But hey, great job today and yesterday, David. Really, really impressive job, and again, excited to see what you can do when you're back at full health. And props to you for racing through it. So fantastic job today, and thanks for joining us. And rest up, man. Go get some sleep, and I hope you feel better soon.
Appreciate it, and shout out to Alex Hillman on his first win here on Monday.
Yes, sir. With that
Oh
70.
yeah,
Gene.
don't you know that rivalry between Canada and Alabama? That's a big thing, huh? Why don't you give your bumper a tug?
That's impressive. I'm not even gonna try to do my best Canada. That was damn good.
Oh yeah,
That was damn good.
Hopefully Landry doesn't hear it. Yeah, he'll give me the business. All right, so let's get to the story of the night, though. The 08 of Alex Hillman finds his way in. He didn't just find his way in. The guy led the most laps.
He got the damn thing
The
done.
guy was on fire, and then when they came for him at the end, he was ready. He returned fire, and then he came out triumphant. Let's pull him into the booth. Ladies and gentlemen,
Alex!
you saw him get it done tonight. That's right, the 08 driver of Hillman.
Let's go.
Alex, are you there?
Yes, that was a fun night.
This is for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, getting it done. I'll tell you what, bud. What a show tonight, man. Like, how are you feeling? Like, I mean, is the heart racing, or were you cold as ice?
Oh no, hard as racing. After those 2 spins, I was very let down on myself because I had the speed in qualifying, I had the speed in practice, and I got too greedy on the gas pedal. Spun it twice, and kind of just raced my way through the field, try to use as much fuel as I could before pitting. Got to the front, got the free pit stop with everybody lapped down, and just kept it in lead from there.
So a lot of pressure out there from a lot of different guys. Case of Beer was fast. Mata was fast. Thornton is fast. Iverson's out there. Vulpes is the defending champion. How did it feel when you saw Colin go down 3 laps? Did the pressure go down a little bit?
It did a little bit, but it was more of all those guys were still up there. All those fast guys. You had Owens catching up at the end. Iverson was fast all day. Just had a little mistake. You have Thornton, who was really fast all day, and Iverson was catching me on the restarts, and basically got to those last 16 laps with the second lead, and was just praying for it to stay green.
Yeah, I was a little concerned about your rear bumper a few times. Iverson, you know, he's a fast driver, but he's also not afraid to use that front bumper to get by somebody. Ran you clean, and then once you got that clean air firmly under control, you just continue to push that 08 just right out there. Heck of a run. Congratulations on your first win today, Alex. Zach, you got any questions you want to ask Alex?
Oh man, I'm just so damn proud of you, Alex. That was an awesome run, man, and it's always super cool to watch a driver who's due for a win to get it that way, not at a plate track or something like that, just somewhere like this. And oh man, I guess my only question for you, man, is how are you feeling for that last run? Case of Beer told us that he felt that nervous energy, and what would be your advice to all the people out there what to do when you know you have, at one point you had 3 teammates breathing down your neck with 20 to go and leading the race?
Biggest thing that for me was with Iverson getting my bumper, the main reason was that I was saving tires. I wasn't going to push them to where when we go to 2 to green, if I'm having to race somebody, I can't get on the gas pedal at the end of the race to try to beat them to the line. In other words, don't do what I did and freak out the whole time.
Easier said than done,
freaking
man.
out results in a win. I'm gonna just freak out. I'm gonna hyperventilate at the beginning of a race.
I know, exactly. Now you get to freak out too. And oh, actually, one more question, Hillman. Where are the beers?
Oh, they're on the way. I got my Modelo on the way.
Let's do this.
And we got a few shots of rum also.
Let's go. Expect a very hungover Alex Hillman tomorrow.
He's a pirate.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Anybody want to shout out to before you go, bud?
Honestly, Case of Beer and all the MC guys, they raced me clean me tonight. Gave me some tips when I was in the lead, and it was a great night racing with them. And shout out to Medina for us racing each other clean for probably the first time in forever.
Yeah, there were a couple times we saw Jose back off. At one point, it even cost him, 5 positions. But Jose making sure that people remember him and not for the bad reason. But man, story of the night, bud. Hell of a race. Once you got up in the front, just loved it.
Oh yeah, looking forward to watching the broadcast. Y'all do an amazing job with this.
Thanks,
man.
bud. Y'all make it easy,
problem.
huh? All right, man. Have a great night, dude. Alex Hillman.
Great job,
that
Alex.
is your 08 Chevrolet driver taking it home, punching his way to the playoffs. Good job, bud.
Thank you.
And you know, the other thing, Zach, is not only did he punch his way to the playoffs, he's 13th in points. That
Yeah.
makes it real complicated for people, doesn't it?
So let's take a look at that, Main Gene, because that was what was sticking out to me as well. I'll try to
Because Duval, look, and all these people, like Duval was out this week. He's somewhere not home. Daniel Smith did not race. Andrew Bolander did not race. So you see a few people on the move. Matthew Fritz did not race. So Ray Sean Winfield, that's my guy, Sean Walton. He did not race. So interesting to see those who did and did not race. And this thing just tightens up. And now you add in the additional factor of, actually only the top 11 in points are going to go.
Yeah, a lot of these
I
guys.
imagine Hillman, though, will be top 12 by the end of the year.
A lot of these guys afraid of the 6, me and Gene. Didn't show up. Now have that 6 races instead of 7. Man, that's going to, I think, play into who makes the playoffs and who doesn't if you don't have that W yet. So, yeah, guys like Sean Walton, Bolander, Daniel Plant Smith, actually Smith has one now, and Duvall. Man, that's gonna be big for them. They're gonna have to recover here next week. But yeah, Bollinger continuing to maintain control of those point standings with Owens only 4 points behind him now, and Volpis just a model of consistency. No wins, but only 17 points total outside the lead. And then Kevin Kyle, both leagues, BRL and MRL. Kevin Kyle, same story, right? Super consistent. Gonna walk into the playoffs without a win in this one, right? I'm sorry, with the win in this one.
He won the iRacing,
yep.
iRacing Super Speedway.
And over in BRL, he's doing the same thing just without a win. So Kevin Kyle, not surprised to see him there. But yeah, we're never our eyes on guys like the defending past champion Jack Sanders, Matt Novella, and especially, like we said, the Bollanders and the Jacks Duvalls, who did not show up, and Sean Walton.
Yeah, how about Sanders jumping up 5 spots like that? Good work out of him today, and he was running
really good.
He was running up in that top 6 about all day.
Yeah, so you see other guys there. You see Garand, not to pick on Garand at all, but he's also ran 7 races, so it's not, and Hunter Hall as well. Definitely not a guarantee to be in a playoffs position with just running all the races. You still have to come out and perform. And that's exactly what Sanders is doing. And what also sticks out to me about Sanders as well, that far right stat you see next to the team to the left of that, that's an incident average, Mean Gene. And I won't get too technical, but usually when you get into an incident that involves another car, that's a 4X. So it's not 9 individual incidents, right? That's 2 when you see a number like 9.
Yeah, that's 2.
But look at Jack Sanders with that single digit. The guys that I think are models of consistency, like here we go, Kevin Kyle, Joseph Volpis, the guys who haven't won races yet, they're the ones with the single-digit averages, right?
Yep, you're right about that. And I'll tell you what, next week, going into Watkins Glen, I think we could see another guy that doesn't have a dub yet come in and steal another spot. I mean, I've seen Sean Walton run at the Charlotte Roval fast. I've seen him run in Chicago fast. Everybody knows Watkins Glen. And the right circumstances could easily put him up front. He's the guy I'm looking at outside of the points. Inside of the points, so of course, you got to start looking at the Joe Volpises and the Matt Novellas and the David Owens. Lots of other guys with that ability on those road courses, but I would not be surprised if a Sean Walton would come and do exactly what Hillman did today and have a guy outside the top 12 smoke it and suddenly turn it into only top 10 on points.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see that either. I think next week will be a big opportunity. I don't know about for guys like Walton. I haven't seen him so much on a road course. I mean, don't be surprised to see someone
quick.
Like
I saw him. I saw him chasing Buddy Sully at the Roval.
Right,
it was just him and Sean.
Well, another guy who was running up there with him but took himself out of it with a mistake was today's winner, Hillman. So don't be surprised to see Hillman having a chance to go back to back next week. I can tell you too, he's been practicing for that specific race for a long time. Hillman did not think he was going to go to this one and get that dub, so that was just a cherry on top. Now he really didn't want to let that opportunity at Watkins Glen pass by, and so I know that one's been circled on his calendar. I'm also be looking at guys like Bollinger, who we know is good around road courses. Kevin Kyle, another one who's been really, really quick lately around road courses. So a lot of guys, and yeah, who knows if we get a ringer who comes around, something like that. So next week's going to be an interesting one, me and Gene, and only a handful of races left until we're in the playoffs.
Yep. And everybody knows Watkins Glen. I mean, we've run it on every NASCAR heat game, every Road to Daytona game ever made. It's always Watkins Glen. So definitely looking as this an event that I think a lot of people will be competing as hard as they can. So final story today, though, Alex Hillman going to punch his way in as he picks up his first MRL next gen cup win here on Monday Night Mayhem. He is the winner. David Owens second. Jonathan Case of Beer is going to finish third. Back-to-back week third place finishes for Case of Beer. That guy is a hard charger. But the 08 walking away as the champion of Iowa. Final thoughts for today, Zach?
Another great race, me and Gene. Another new winner in this league. Super exciting to see, especially when it's someone like Hillman, who we saw here last year, and we've gotten to firsthand watch him improve on his craft and turn from a top 10 car into a race winner here in the MRL and getting it done the hard way in a short track. So hats off to him, and the points battle only gets more and more intriguing with a lot of guys not having the fortitude to come out here today and give Iowa a shot for one reason or another. And what that's done is completely opened up the points for a lot of guys and making the playoffs even more obtainable for probably about 20-25 people in these or in this league right now, me and Gene. So next week we go to another super challenging track, a whole different set of skills as we'll be turning right. So there's gonna be a lot asked these guys again, and it's make it or break it time. So whether or not you're comfortable with Watkins Glen, you gotta come out here and give it your all. And like you said, me and Gene, it's the track that we've been racing on since NASCAR Thunder when we were I don't want to age myself, when we were young. So so that's it's gonna be a fun one. I love that track. I'll have tons to offer. Maybe I'll give you guys your first edition of Zach on Track on a road course. Who knows? Maybe we'll even do that. But nonetheless, I love covering those tracks, and I'm excited to see who shows up, who comes out on top, and who continues to make every MRL Monday night season into a movie that we get to enjoy season after season, me and Gene. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get back here next week, and then I'll see you on Sunday for BRL. And I think we're planning another BRN live stream for the Coda race of NASCAR, so we'll see you guys there again. Thank you to all you who would joined us for that. I think we did like 50 or something, so another great turnout for that. And thank you to all who continue to make these successful broadcasts, and watching the views go up and up definitely warms the hearts of me and Gene. So we're having a great time out here, and thank you for letting me be here, me and Gene, and another great week in the MRL.
Hey, man, I am glad you're here. You make it a whole lot more fun. And the Vortex Racing Network on Sunday, we will be doing that right after our rebroadcast on BRL, and that will be live. We'll have the stats of the race up on the Vortex Racing Network, so you can see when they're green, when they're yellow, and who is wrecking who. That'll be fun. My final thoughts for this race, though, 7 races, 6 winners.
Wow. Love that.
7 races, 6 different winners. So this thing continues to get crazier and crazier. And the people that haven't won, Joe Volpes, Tony Iverson, Andrew Bolander,
Michael Mata,
Eric Thornton. How have those guys not won when we're talking about 6 dudes have wins? So we could just continue to see more and more different names get the win. How would you like to be the odd man out? I'm 5th in point. I'm 7th in points, and I'm not going to the playoffs. I hate all your faces.
So
That's it's a distinct possibility. So counting down the races, it becomes more and more important to get out and make your best of a run. Get as many points as you can, because if you don't win, you might not make it to the playoffs on points. And if you don't show up, you can't win. So hopefully we'll see these teams get their guys back as we move forward in the season. Cannot wait next week. Watkins Glen is going to be a heck of a show. We, the don't cut the chicane, and please break early in turn 1. I think those are the big rules, and we'll see if those guys can obey next week. Final from Iowa, we saw Alex Hillman take his first win, punch his way to the ticket, and next week we'll be at Watkins Glen. On behalf of myself, Mean Gene Bunny, Zach Panzarella, our sponsors, Chantilly Lace, DDI, KK Woodscapes, producers and admins John Beverly, Joe Volpus, and all the fellas back in the production truck, boys. Thank you for coming and tuning in tonight. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.